company is Crystal H Technology Screens. We got a lot to do today. So what we got set up for today is I'm going to have the inflatable screen outside. I can hear Mr. Hollywood coming downstairs because he can hear me on the camera. But anyway, we got the inflatable screen we're going to be doing outside today. That's going to be coated with the gunmetal technology right here. This is the Phantom's new gunmetal black slate, which we're going to be showing some demonstrations of that today. Also, too, we're going to be talking about screen paint products. Now, keep in mind, as I said before, usually this is an area I don't really care about too much because, I just work on my products basically by itself. But as I said before, when you have individuals making claims about their products, woo, I didn't even know you was on the chair, man. Sorry about that, my bad. I pulled my chair. My cat was sitting right on the chair. I sat on him. When people make claims that their products are doing things that they can't do, then there's a concern there. So what we have here is we have under our screens, when we say our screens pull a higher white level than any black surface, we have to back it up. And we say our screens can produce a high enough white level where the image is very, very watchable, we got to back it up. If I say my screen can outperform certified projection screens, if we can take your screen outside, if it's ultra short though compatible, if you can pick it up at a 190-degree viewing angle, all this stuff has to be backed up. Now, it's interesting, as I said before, in demonstrations that I saw, trying to stain the name of a Phoenix, where basically this is a screen on a small little sample sheet in an apartment where we have 150-inch sitting outside, two of them at that. We were talking about that in the discussion forum. They were matching his videos up with this 150-inch display outside. And they're like, how the freak is that even possible? Mind you, I'm at a 190-degree viewing angle showing a snowstorm. I was very surprised that even, like I said, when we test these technologies of these screens, we never know what they're going to do. And this screen pulled up at 451. Now, mind you, we were never going to fire the projectors up. We were showing a setup. That's what it was supposed to be. So we're going to go outside, set up all the projectors, show you how we do it. Very simple and easy. It's not that hard to do. Do 2 projector setups out there. How easy it is to do, right? So that's all we're going to do. But I figured, let's fire up the projectors while we're doing it because I can get them adjusted, get them sized up to the screen, and we'll be good to go. And in that way, it's one less thing we have to do. And those projectors fired up on that screen. That screen fired up on those projectors with no problem whatsoever. So that was amazing to do. So we're going to be outside again a little earlier. We're going to be outside with the inflatable screen. Right now, I'm painting it downstairs to do some demonstrations on the inflatables. But that's something that's a different topic on its own. So what we're going to discuss here is, now when I do research on other screen paints, which we have to do research on certifieds and screen paints and just about everything else under the sun. Any company that's going to be in competition with anybody else in that field has to do the homework. You have to do the homework. You never know. You got to make sure whatever's out there. I'm constantly doing some research to see whatever new technology, what's popping up, who has this, who has that, to see exactly what we may have to compete with maybe now or in the future, what we may have to go head to head with. So constantly tuning, tweaking our products to make sure that we stay ahead. So one of the things I've noticed when I watched other screen paint video demonstrations, they never embellish on the truth. They say what it is, that's what it is, that's what it is. They never make claims that they can do this and they can do that. We only have one individual. At all the ones I've checked online, we only have one individual who claims to make these accusations. And the sad thing about it, he gets caught up in his own lies, because if you claim the Cinemax to be able to produce a contrast level equal to a black screen, but yet you have a screen called a Jet Fusion, which is supposed to be black, and it's not matching anything black in the environment whatsoever. It's not even matching the very UV mix that we have here that's literally darker than the screen. And for some reason, as you can see when you watch the demonstration, it's not only high-end projector, it's not only P2, it's on a 720p Epson projector, and it's at a distance though at that. And it's still picking up a much better image, a way better image than the Cinemax. And that's on a screen paint that's lighter than a UV. That is a massive, huge red flag right there. At the end of the day, that shows that, number one, he lied. Of course he lied. There's no way where any one of these light great screen products are going to produce next to a black screen. Virtually impossible. That's number one. That's a huge lie right there. Number two, outed himself twice, which means he constantly showed the screen that number one was never black to begin with, and number two, outperformed his top screen. Cinemax is supposed to be his top screen. So that's questionable now. So when you look at all these screen paints we have up here, these are the screen paints that we made. We made quite a lot of them. We made them just about in every combination you could possibly think of. We even have darker mixes. We got dark gray mixes. We got gunmetal mixes. We have light mixes. We have them all here. So the objective when you're doing screen paint, you want to make sure you make as many as you possibly can because you have to test it against your own product. At the end of the day, you got to think somebody out there is going to go, well, I wonder if I put this and that together, how close can I come to that? Can I match this? This is why you have to have tests. This is why when you have people like this particular individual who called himself painting a phantom, when we looked at the screen, I was like, the screen's not black. It's not a phantom. You know how black a phantom is? Not phantom, I'm sorry, Phoenix. You know how black a Phoenix is? Phoenix are black screens. So I'm like, no, that's not a Phoenix. And another thing too, if you put any light screen against a Phoenix can blend into the screen. A Phoenix can blend into this. So that tells you if a Phoenix can blend into this, it can blend into one of these with no problem. Number two, you can throw any black surface at a Phoenix and a Phoenix will maintain its white level. We've done that already. We've actually sat here and made these. We call the Midnight 3.0. We made these black mixes right here. We made them from a range of, we got them capped up on the top on how dark you made them, how dark they are. We made them from a range from 5 tablespoons to 3 tablespoons. Because the object is when we're making this, we don't want to make it too, we don't want to put too much white paint in it because then it reaches the area of gunmetal. It gets right up in that area of the gunmetal, which it pretty much is in the gunmetal. So we're going to do one today, which is 1 tablespoon of black paint or white paint in the black paint and keep it at that. Because usually the average person who's making this stuff, they know they have to add some kind of white paint in it because they feel that white paint is going to heighten the white levels. They can't leave it black because they know there has to be some kind of white in it somewhere to be able to do that. So what they'll do is they'll start adding the less teaspoons they put into it. They want to keep it in that dark area as much as possible. If they put too much in it, then you're hitting the gray area. You're entering gunmetal land. So that doesn't technically make your screen black anymore. So that becomes really hard for them. So bottom line is we did 2 right here. These are the 2 we did. These are the 2 you're seeing right there. One's actually with the 5, one's with the 3. So you can see which one's lighter and which one's darker. So we put these, we made them ourselves. We put these against the Phoenix downstairs. We did the motorized projection screen with the white screen because you have to have a white screen present at all times. We did a white level test. Now, if we did these on a standalone by themselves, then they can easily say, oh, yeah, it's pulling a white level. No, you have to have a white screen back there to show your balance of white levels versus the white screen. That's another thing we don't see in demonstrations being done. That white screen needs to be back there. So you can see the difference. Because you go home and you do a matchup on your wall, you're like, good gracious, I didn't know this thing was that dark. Yeah, because there was no white screen to compare it to. So that's why we had the screen set up downstairs, the white screen. So we took both of these, we painted these, put them on that surface right there. We put them downstairs. Guess what? We did a white level demonstration. The Phoenix pulled the highest white level. So we can make any kind of combination of paint we want and throw it against that screen. Even black paint doesn't match that screen. At the end of the day, it shows you that, yeah, that screen, there's a difference. There's a difference in that technology than over any black surface. And keep in mind, when I first started developing black screen paint, I've heard every line in the book. Black spray paint, black vinyl, black chalk paint, black house paint. I mean, just about everything. Everything you could possibly think of was thrown at me about a black screen when I first developed one. This is way before you even knew who Jamie was or any of the other people we knew what they were. We were basically, of course you're going to get ridiculed. You came with a black screen, they're going to come at you with everything you could possibly think of. So the stuff we can get from here is like, we've been there, done it already. But you're going to be questioned on it. And then you start questioning yourself like, how close could someone come to actually matching one of my screens? See, and this is where you have to do these tests. This is why we do the pour out. The pour out, when we have a screen that's claiming to be a 100% black screen, you have to do a pour out, which means you have to do black paint, pour it out here, and you have to pour your substance here, and you have to show that your screen comes very close. It has to be extremely close. So point, you can't tell one from the other. Phantoms do that. You can't tell a phantom from black paint. If you're looking like, what the frig, you can't tell. But when that screen dries, it dries a different shade. and it produces an extremely high white level, which we saw already. So you have to show a difference, all right? Now, getting back to the gray screen paint products. This was never tested on a white level. We know that from the door. The minute we put that down, we did the test, it couldn't even match the Phoenix in white level. So we already know from the door that this had the same exact reaction as this. As we were able to make it here, I think this is the one right here. Yeah, we were able to make it here in this container right here, basically. And like I said, it wasn't in the tensions of making the product. It was out of saying, how close could someone come to actually making it, getting close to making it or matching it? And it not only came close, but it actually matched the screen. Actually, all the ones we have over here matched every last one of those ones we have in the shop. We even have a digital one crystal screen paint right there. Now, keep in mind, the product that we have over here, these right here, this is something we're going to make now. But the product we have here, let's get these out of the way. Move over here real quick. The products we have here are the ones we made with using his tutorial video. So we didn't get this off the top of our head like these. These we made off the top of our head. These we got from a tutorial video. So we went to the tutorial video that was deleted off the account. We made the product, which was black and white paint. And what we did, we just basically just added some with 2, added some with 3, added some with 4. And they matched. They matched. After a couple of trials, we were able to get the match in no time at all. It was a pretty easy run. And the reason why it was an easy run, because number one, when people say, well, my product doesn't match bare silver screen, of course you're not going to match bare silver screen. Bare silver screen, if you add any black paint into your product, it is not going to match bare silver screen. Bare silver screen is like a very, very, very light gray. I don't know why they call it silver, but it's a very light gray. It has nothing to do with silver at all. It's a very light gray. That's what it is. And if you match that against any product that had black paint in it, the black paint is basically going to show a difference between that and the bare silver screen. If you take the bare silver screen and you drop black paint into it, now you have something that can equal your product. So that right there is completely, it doesn't work at all. And then the fact that you have to be a finger distance from the screen is not good, because that shows at the end of the day, the customer literally has to be that close to the screen. They see a difference. Can you see the difference at 14 feet? Can you see it at 18 feet? If he's using a venue projector, he's going to be back about 30 feet from the screen. Is he going to be to see the difference between the two? Is there going to be a huge, massive difference between night and day? No, there isn't at all, period. You got a better chance of seeing the screen door effect than seeing that one. All right, so getting back to the gray paints. How close can we come to matching one of these paints? Like I said, didn't take much. This one right here is a digital one crystal screen paint right here we made here. This is our product we had about 7 years ago. How many of these will match a product that we had 7 years ago? This one's pretty basic. This one basically was made, I think was like 4 tablespoons of silver. It was 5 tablespoons of black into white paint, and basically we added in about 1.5 of gold glitter. That's all we put into it. This is digital one crystal screen paint. This one we were making 7 years ago. It comes, that's it right there. That comes extremely close to matching the Metallica mix right there. That's a Metallica mix 2.0 that in the video demonstration was made with only 3 tablespoons, but we made a different version of our own. We made one with, we got it marked at the bottom so you can see that. We made one with 10. So the one we made with 10 came out interesting because this one had the ability to not only match this one perfectly, but it was able to match 90% of the personal mix along with it. Now, how we were able to, from that, getting from 10 to the highest to the lowest gives us an idea of somewhere in between those numbers, like a safe, like you're cracking a safe. That's how it works, where that mix locks at. So we start off, we nailed that one 100%. We're good. So we go in for the personal. Personal has a different shade to it. So we went in and we did a sample sheet of 2, 3, and 4. So 2 being 2 tablespoons and so forth. That's what we wanted to. The 2 couldn't match it. 3 didn't match it, but 4 hit it right on the nail. match perfectly. And what I mean by match perfectly, I'm talking about we have to do a color level test, which means we have to show blues, greens, reds. We can't show a bunch of camouflage color because that's not good. We have to show solid colors. So you can see, okay, this screen's producing a solid red. This is how the solid red is pulling up on both screens. They're exactly the same. That's how it has to be done. It was an identical match through the entire test. So automatically we knew that this is how we made this product. It was a black and white product. The first red flag that came up was the fact that when I saw the demonstration of mixing the black and white paint together, that was the first mistake. Because as I said before, we used to make this stuff 7 years ago, and every base that starts off with this stuff always starts off with black and white paint. Reversals are usually rare because most people don't know about the reversals. You'll find maybe once. Reversals an experiment. So it's like the average person is not going to put black paint to white paint. That's going to be rare, but they're going to start with a white base first. That's why when I told you, when I saw the display under the final and I was looking, I said, that is the same containers, the same mixtures that they use for making black and white paint, for making these products. I said, I can't believe this. And they were bare at that. They were actually bare. That's what they use. They like to use bare. They love bare because bare has a built-in primer. It's smooth. It, low odor, low VOC, it's $23. It's good. So that's why they use it. So that's when I saw the containers. I was like, wow, that's its ingredients right there. So mixing the black and white paint, you don't have to have a special kind of paint. Any paint works as long as it's black and white. And that's how we saw how he was mixing it. I said, oh, he was doing the same thing we were doing 7 years ago. So I said, well, pretty much we could figure this out in no time at all. And then judging by what I saw in the demonstrations, keep in mind, our screens had, the only difference we had in our reaction with the screens is the fact that we couldn't use a lot of light. Now, mind you, 7 years ago, it was a big thing. If you had one lamp in your environment, it was a big thing because all the videos at that particular time were all done in the dark. So we were the only ones with one lamp. Now today, since you have ambient light projection technology, as in these guys over here, these guys can be in a somewhat, we still call it not a well-lit environment, but it's much better than what it was 7 years ago. Way much better than that. You can have lights here and lights here, but much better. But as I said before, the video demonstrations he's doing are the exact same demonstrations that we did 7 years ago, but with a more advanced projector. That's pretty much all it is. So that's why I showed you the fellow who on YouTube was showing you how to make the product also. Same containers. $23 with the big boy, $17 at the bottom, because you don't need a lot of black paint to do it, unless you're going to be making all this. That's the only way. And the way he mixed it came out the exact same color as the Metallica mix. And when he put on that high power projector, you seen how it looked amazing with the lights out, but with the lights on, it was faded and washed out around the corners. Same thing we saw on the leisure projector with the customer, the wash out around the corners. Same thing. They cannot pick up contrast. They can't pick up color. It's the same product. So like I said, at the end of the day, you have to be to test your products to see how close, if anyone can match it. I can match every last one of the screens just by looking at the video. I don't even have to basically buy the product. I can look and go, oh, we know how it's made because we have now a kind of a measurement between 10 being the highest and 2 being the lowest. Anywhere in between there, we can nail one of the screens. Let's see, this one right here was made with 3. We got these marked at the bottom. So this one's made with 3. This is the one that matched the personal perfectly right there. So right there's the personal. This one right here is 2. This one is the Cinemax. The Cinemax has to be somewhere in there. It's not 1. Trust me. If it was 1, it'd be way too light. It'd be way, way, way too light. It would have issues if it was way too light. It would be somewhere between 2. It's not 3. It's nowhere in the category of 3 at all, period, whatsoever. And if the person feels that I'm wrong on this, if I'm wrong, right, I would suggest for you to make the ingredients that I will be posting under this video, have it, put it against your product, and stand back at the distance of where your projector is sitting at. Don't do the ultra short throw. You do ultra short to make a difference. Ultra short to make a difference. Do the ultra short to long throw to make a difference, and show that there's a difference. But you have to show difference. And I don't want to see colors. I want to see solid color patterns. That's what I want to see. Now, when I mean by we don't want to see a bump. A bump means we don't want to see like a little slight color change. We want to see a massive difference between night and day. See how it looks outside? It's night right now. You wake up in the morning, and well, we're up in the morning anyway. When the sun comes up, there's a difference between this setting and when the sun comes up. It has to be a difference between night and day. That's why when we take those certifies and we lay them against that screen and we pull back that camera, you can see each one of those screens start to fade out, and you watch our screen maintain that solid deep blue, red or blue, and we can stand back 18 feet and you can see a difference. That's what you have to see. So bottom line, at the end of the day, if you can't do the demonstration, then we, at the end of the day, bottom line, people, you can make pretty much this yourself, because like I said, he can be upset about this, but it's your fault because you should have basically tested your product. You should have. We did the Phantom. We brought out the Phantom. Phantom's a jet black screen, right? What did Mr. Bird do? Mr. Bird went out and got black paint, right? He painted here, not one time, multiple times. Not only that, I actually wrote my name in the paint. And if that wasn't enough, I threw black fabric, we threw black vinyl, we threw black t-shirts, hoodies, everything against that screen. What happened? On a white level, solid white level. We're not talking about pretty snow colors, on a solid white level. That screen produced a higher white level. We went downstairs. We showed you demonstrations on our YouTube channel of us doing this to Soviet Night, or the Novit Night 17s. So we've been doing these. This is nothing new. We can go back to our archives and look. This is a Nova 17. This is a Supreme 8. This is a 7. All of these had to go through these tests. I can go back and show you demonstrations from the last house I was at that was showing a 7. We did a demonstration with black paint right down the side of the screen. You had to do these tests. And it's not just for him, it's just for anybody who have to do these tests. You should be doing these tests for yourself, not just for your customers, just not for people you have contracts with, for yourself, to know 100% that you have confidence that your product is going to work 100%. You can't call yourself a professional if you don't carry yourself as a professional. Now today, every day for me is different. Every day, I'm always testing my product, no matter what. It could be any demonstration. My product's always in testing, always. I told people at the end of the day, any demonstrations we do could be a challenge for anybody else. The day I'm going to be outside on an inflatable screen coated with the new technology, and we're going to be doing some demonstrations out there. And then I have to be back out there on the 150-inch. Got to do a motorized projection screen outside I'm going to do a distance throw. We got a distance throw projector. I want to see if we can pull back at 70 feet because I got a project coming up with a movie theater. I'm doing a project. But getting back to this is what we're going to make here and here. We're going to finish off because out of the midnights, this is for us. These are for us. These are the midnights are for us. This is the test against our black screens. Because at the end of the day, if somebody says, well, I put black paint and I got the same thing your screen got. No, you didn't. Virtually impossible. You can pick up a contrast level, of course, but your colors and your white levels are going to drop crazy. No. And mind you, the light I had downstairs in my basement is 1800 from the door. So we got enough light down there to get the screens. They're not going to have an vantage point down there. And we do this in the dark. Mind, these are demonstrations being done in the dark. And they still can't pull higher white levels than that black screen. So we have these right here. These are the midnights. Now, interesting. I'm going to show you how dark this screen is compared to the UV. This is the UV right here. And this is how dark these screens are to the UV. They are nearly close to being black. See? This is what we put against our screens to test them. It's because I have to make sure at the end of the day that if I'm talking to somebody, or if I got a contract with somebody, I got to have 100% confidence. When I walk into that office or when I'm doing that video conference and they're testing my product over there, I have to have 100% confidence. Like, oh yeah, go ahead, put next to black paint, throw a white level on it, see what happens. Any black surface can pull a contrast level, easy. Any light gray surface can pull a white level, easy. The problem with these screens is they have to be to see contrast and color correctly. If you can't see contrast from the door with this, your color's not going to come up either. You're going to have problems with color. Definitely going to have a problem with color. These screens right here, the darker screens, have to be to pull and maintain a white level. If they can't maintain a white level, color is going to suffer. I tell you, color dances with both of them at the same time. If you put too much white into this, then you lose your contrast. That means you can't pull a star field, OLED HORS, any of those black levels, not going to come up. It's going to come up gray. Then on top of that, your colors are going to have issues because, like I said, you put too much white into it, that means your colors are going to fade because there's not enough contrast to make your colors pop. And if you put too much black into it, that means your colors come up too dark because there's not enough white level in it. And then again, you can't make the screen too much white because then you reach over into gunmetal territory, which means you want to keep it black. Yeah, y'all figure that out. That's not for me to tell you how it's done. but it's just to show you what you're dealing with. So at the end of the day, what are we dealing with here? You're dealing with a lot of mixes that are going to be, at the end of the day, that are, well, majority of the ones I've seen already, they speak the truth. They say exactly what it is. They say contrast levels are fair. You know, have to use it in ambient light controlled environments. Something they just say, they keep it real. This individual, on the other hand, not so. He cheats in a lot of his demonstration. He cheats in a lot of his demonstration. He cheats in a lot of stuff he does. He just doesn't do correctly. That black screen fiasco was freaking unbelievable. It's actually, we're still talking about that in a few forum sites right now. That I don't know how in the world he tried to pass off that screen in that demonstration as being jet black when the speakers are actually darker than the physical screen, and the UV mix we have here is darker than the jet black. In that demonstration, what I saw, I didn't see. Now, if he had that black surface, he had that screen. When he first showed the demonstration, we gave him a challenge. Now, the challenge we gave him, like he gave us, you know, telling us that, hey, oh, we want to see your product next to black paint. I think it's black paint. All right, we proved you wrong. We asked you the same thing. We said, okay, I want to see black paint next to your paint. Let me see something there. Nothing. The demonstration he showed, which I have no idea to today what the heck it was about. Black screen here. It says the black screen here. And then it was a somewhat medium gray screen here. So I don't know what that was. Like it was like kind of like, I don't know what color it was, like kind of a tannish kind of look to it. But it was right here. And there was a weird paint in between that, smeared in between that. And there was a gray screen here. I'm like, what the heck am I looking at here? You're supposed to do a simple black paint versus your product. Simple. You take the black paint. You paint it down the center of your screen. You take a piece of cardboard. You put that next to your product. You show that both of them are pouring. You do the pour out first and show both of them are basically black paint. They both, well, now one's not gray, so one's not cheating. It's gray because it can pour at that higher white level, which is kind of weird because the screens you put against our screen are literally dark gray and they still can't pour a higher white level than the Phoenix. But well, anyway, that's another story on its own. But anyway, so then they can show that both of them are the same. And then you do a paint down the middle, and that's it. And you show your white levels, solid white levels only. Not flowers, not frogs, not dandelions, none of that. White levels only. And there's supposed to be a white screen behind that. So both screens can show their balance against each other. And then the white screen, bottom line, you can show where both screens measure up to the white screen. That's how it's supposed to be displayed. We got this black screen on this side and whatever mess this was on this side and something here on the corner. I'm like, what the heck am I? And on this tiny little screen pushed up in this corner. I'm like, what the heck is that? Are you kidding me? Where's your demonstration, man? So I had to repeat it again. I was requesting, again, a pour out on the black paint. We did it ourselves. We did it 5 times. 5 times on video. We painted one. We did a one over on Facebook. We wrote our name in the paint. You know, we threw stuff against the screen. We went all out on it. No problem. And then we had the 4,000 lumen. It's like, let's drop it to 1,000. Drop it to 1,000 lumen. Pulled it back 14 feet. Did it all over again. Just to show you that our products work. 3rd time request. Nothing. 4th time request. Nothing. 5th time request. Nothing. 6th time request, and the demonstration pops up with this screen with no white background behind it next to the Cinemax on a 720p projector. And in the demonstration, I'm looking at it, I'm like, where the heck is the white screen? Where's the black paint? And I'm hoping that in the demonstration you showed on the first one, or he showed on the first one, showing that little black screen on the side, I pray that was not your screen paint. Oh, I pray. That thing came up so dark and so dirty. I'm like, unless he was showing that was supposed to be the black paint. And if I'm trying to figure out what he was trying to do here, because that was supposed to be black paint physically. And the screen you were showing was supposed to pull the high white level next to black paint. You do know the difference between black and gray, right? Black and gray. The screen you showed in that demonstration there wasn't black. It wasn't matching the other screen in any way whatsoever. It was a gray screen. So I know you wasn't claiming that to be a black screen. And if the black screen you had over here, you was claiming to be a black screen, that came with some awfully dirty white levels. It couldn't have been the screen in the corner down here because that screen was light gray. So that thing was all over the place. I was like, okay. So that video somehow got deleted and then got popped back in, which we got deleted in a live stream. So, okay, whatever. So then we request again, nothing comes up at all, period. If we have to request the second time for that to be done, we automatically know from the door, boom, it's black paint in it from the door. Or it's not black. There's something wrong with it that they're refusing to do the test. If someone tells me, hey, Ken, do a demonstration, you know how I do things. Well, so-and-so and so. We're going to do a demonstration today because so-and-so and so. We're going to show you our product works. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do that, blah, blah, blah. Let's take it outside, so-and-so. I back it up because then I test my products. So the fact that we had to ask so many times, and every time we asked, it was avoided in so many different directions. And then when I saw the last one come up, I was like, oh, this is not going to go well, because he put that against the Cinemax. Any screen that is going to be slightly darker, any one of these, what we have over here, the darker ones, pretty much. We got some darker ones over here, some mid-darker ones. Any one of these that are slightly darker than a Cinemax is going to pull a better contrast level right from the door. Right from the door. It's going to pull a better contrast level because it's a darker, it's more black paint in it. It's going to have the ability to pull a higher contrast in color automatically from the door. And he proved it in the video. There is no reason for us to ever purchase a Cinemax. Never. And I'll tell you why. He did exactly what we were going to do in the demonstration. He did exactly what we were going to do. We were going to take the screen. We were actually going to stick against a much worse screen. We were going to stick against a jet black screen and see if we can pull the same contrast levels. This is why when we asked for the challenges were never met. They were avoided at all costs. We were met with middle fingers and insults, stuff like that, for a person who's supposed to be a professional. We requested side-by-side demonstrations. We've tried to place an order multiple times for the products after receiving an invite to go in and buy from him with confidence, which every last order was canceled with insults. So that was another story on its own. So with that being said, you know, even the cancellations, and the first one we ordered out of the first cancellation was the Cinemax to bring it down here. But what he showed in the demonstration, there's no point in buying it because it proves my point. As I said before, the Cinemax cannot pull contrast levels equal to a screen that is slightly darker than it. It can't do it. And if it can't do that with a screen that's slightly darker, there's no way in the world it's going to be able to perform a contrast level equal to a black screen. That's why when he does those demonstrations, he'll have it in the dark. We'll have this projector set up, it'll be, light in the environment, and he'll try to show up these contrasts over the screen is really pulling up these black levels. Yeah, the problem you have with that demonstration you did after the demonstration of showing your product, the Jet Black Fusion, or whatever it is, next to your Cinemax, the damage was already done. You can't go in and go, oh yeah, I hit your car, but the next day, so-and-so, it never happened. It doesn't work that way. You clearly showed a screen on camera showing it performing better color, better contrast than the other screen, which proves at the end of the day, we don't even have to put it against a black screen. We just grab any one of these right here to have more black into it, and we can outperform the screen with no problem whatsoever. And that's what it did. It outperformed his own screen. And then he came back in and did another demonstration. We were going to show the other demonstration where he had the P2 in the dark, and he was showing these contrast levels, saying, look, this is my screen point contrast levels. But now the environment has changed, because in the environment you had before, you had a lot of light in the environment. You had the 720p. It was back around probably 8 or 9 feet back from the screen. And then you show a demonstration again with the P2 on the screen in the dark, showing contrast levels. Yeah, people can tell the difference between the two. You already outed yourself the first time when you showed the, whatever that mixture was, performing better color. Now the white levels, weren't that good at all, period. But it was showing better color, and it was showing much better contrast, and that screen wasn't anywhere near as dark as the UV than the Cinemax. And that being said, that means the Cinemax could never perform those contrast levels to begin with. Like I said, anything we have here, I guarantee what we have right here will produce a better contrast level than the Cinemax using. So this is what I'm talking about. We're going to be doing a lot of demonstrations coming up. We got all our combinations made here. We were in the, and then we go to our forum sites, and on our forum sites, we talk about these different paint products. Now, keep in mind, these were all made with just black and white paint. Nothing special. Wait, hold on. Let me get one of these out of here. We should get the digital one. Digital one can't be in there. These were just made with basic black and white paint. Nothing special. This right here was made with black and white paint. Nothing special. It's called the reversal. So reversal, instead of them putting in the base of white, they put the base of black in first, and they add in the white to tone it. That's it. So these were just made with black and white paint. This one, on the other hand, was made with the silver and the sparkles and all the good stuff that usually people put in their product to get their screen. Keep in mind, at the end of the day, You will never see the silver. You will see the sparkles, but you won't see the silver. So what we're going to do is we have the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. That's it right there. We're going to put that next to, and mind, this is not to be, and I don't want him to take this in a way where, oh, you're doing, no, dude, do not take this the wrong way. Your product should have been tested. This should have been done. Do not get mad at me. Don't get upset with me. Don't get, oh, you're doing, what are you going to do? You're going to go out there and slam their black screens. Oh, they come up too dark. Knock yourself out. We've done those tests to our own screens. I can take any black product and stick it against my own screen and show you a white level live. And my screen will produce a higher white level. How you go? Oh, and in my apartment with this little sample sheet, I'm going to stick this in the screen and it came up dark. I got 150-inch outside, 2 of them back to back. And I can do that at 4 o'clock, 4:16 in the evening and show you a 109-degree snowstorm bouncing off the side of my screen. No, that's out, buddy. That's out. That's canceled down. And with that, basically, you're trying to develop a black screen. What are you going to do now? You're going to go Two-Face on us? I'm talking about not Two-Face as in Two-Face the villain, as in basically Batman. You know, split multiple personalities. Because 1 minute, you're trying to make a black screen and trying to say and showing it against your product was a bad idea because you just showed a screen, even though it wasn't black, did perform better than your product. Much better than your product. So what are you going to say? You're going to slander black screens when you're trying to make a black screen? So you're trying to tell your customers not to buy a black screen, but yet you're trying to make a black screen. But you're trying to say light screens are better, but you're trying to make a black screen. But how does it even work literally at the end of the day? So yeah, good luck on that one. So at the end of the day, you can get mad or upset all you want. Don't care. Make your means whatever. You should have tested your product. That's what you should have did. You should have tested it. Like I said, if I can come out here and I can do demonstrations putting black paint, and you guys can say, hey, maybe it's black paint, maybe it's this. You can come at me and question my work. And I can come out here and back my product at 100%, then why can't they? All right, then. There we go. I don't want to hear any complaining. I don't want to hear any whining, complaining, fussing. Do you hear me fussing, complaining? When somebody says, hey, Ken, I want to see your product against, but you hear me on camera talking about, oh, you know, they shouldn't be challenging me because that ain't right. And, you know, my product works so and so without backing it up. Do you hear me say that? No. There you go. I back it up. If you're going to do the job, don't do it at all. Now, let's show you what you got. You got to deal with, people. Those you're going to be buying projection screens, this is what you're going to have to deal with. Whew, man, I swear, when we go offline and we go mainstream, I feel sorry because we may not be online anymore. You may have to go to a facility to pick this up, pick our products up. We may do basically, they could be custom. I mean, there's some talks, but I'm just leave it alone. They could be screen paints, could be exclusive. So I'm going to leave it at that. So y'all figure that one out. All right, so let me show you what's going on here. These are your options. You basically can deal with these untesters. Now, like I said, not saying all of them are untesters. We got some other people out there that, like I said, I've done research. The screen paints are pretty good. But like I said, they have limitations, okay? They have limitations. A lot of them are very light grade products. And with the light grade products, yes, they are good with the ones I've seen. But again, at the end of the day, color and contrast is going to be your biggest issue. Like I said, when you buy a projector, I can't remember the last time I said, yeah, I bought this projector and it had a 2 million to 1 white level. Yeah, right. Contrast level. That's all they talk about when it comes to the deepest, darkest black contrast levels you could get. OLED TVs. Look at your phone right now. What color? What's the screen on your phone? Is it gray or black? All right, there you go. All right. So anyway, the darker technology is the more advanced technology. So at the end of the day, with these other people I see displaying theirs, these guys are basically telling it like it is. You know what I mean? Telling it like it is. Their products does. They're keeping it within the limitation of what their products can do. This is the only individual that embellishes these lies about how his product does all this, but yet this person just fails multiple times to basically do any form of real test demonstrations whatsoever. For these other people, I mean, pretty much for them, all they have to do is just take their product, paint the screen, have it look good, and then the environment, so and so and so. They dim their lights. That's how they do the demonstrations. They're keeping it real. This one, on the other hand, well, yeah, you're talking about hugging a screen at freaking 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to be so close up on the screen in the dark, because if you have a light screen and all your lights are out, that screen's going to, the contrast levels are going to improve a lot. And especially if you're that close to the screen, you really can't see the entire outlook of the screen. You have to stand back to get the whole field of view of the screen. So you can see the environment, how the screen is reacting to the environment. Sometimes with some screens, the middle may be doing well, but the corners could be having issues. They could go dark on the corners. They can fade on the corners. You can have issues like that. So that's why you need to see the whole entire screen. And seeing these demonstrations that were done, how he was cutting these corners, yeah, clearly shows at the end of the day, he was just, man, my goodness. This is why you're having these issues with your screens. But anyway, you can't get upset because at the end of the day, these are tests that should be done. If I want to develop a black screen, a red screen, a green screen, I have to throw screens against it. We did the green screen. Remember the green screen? We're still working on that too. We're started testing that screen. We did that green screen, right? What did I do? Mr. Bird went out and got himself green paint, put it against his screen, right? And pulled the star field. Our screen has contrast shifting technology. That screen automatically turned black. Now, some people, when we showed up that demonstration under the exotics when they first came out, they were like, oh, it's chameleon paint. Do you have any idea how chameleon paint works? If you've got a car that has chameleon paint on it, it doesn't stay one color. That car constantly changes colors all the time. Depending on how the light hits it or how you see it on the angle, it's constantly fluctuating and changing. You can stand in front of that screen. You can walk back and forth. It doesn't change. So that was one of the things we get. We get them on Facebook too. We get a few people that come in there and try to guess what the screen is. But that's good, you know, because then we can go out and go, okay, chameleon paint. Let's go buy some chameleon paint and let's paint half the screen with it and let's see if it does the same thing. So that, I do enjoy those challenges. But this is what you're faced with. You're faced with people that, if you're dealing with people that are going to tell you, they're going to tell you the truth. The product does so and so and so. You're going to have your shortcomings. Like I said, the product is still going to work. It's still going to give you a better advancement than white screen. It is. With his and even with the other ones, but you're not going to be able to pull the same thing off as our technology does. It's just not going to happen. If that was the case and he had that kind of confidence in his product, we wouldn't have canceled orders sitting up there on the desk. That just shows you right there. And you can't sit there and go Karen and whine and cry and say, hey, I don't do business with scammers. If you don't do business, as you said, with scammers, why would you send me an invite to buy from you to begin with? All right, then. All right. So, and this right here, I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to say if we all know what it is. We all know what this is from the end of the day. We know what it is. But anyway, so you're going to have to deal with his lies and him telling you not the truth about how his products works with no proper testing whatsoever. And the fact that we can match just about everything he has over there with no problem. And then you're going to have to deal with these guys. And these are the big boys. These are the DMP Supernova Black Diamond. We don't have Black Diamond over there, but the big boy screens. So these are the screens that I tell people at the end of the day, and people who really don't realize how expensive these screens are, and they think I'm joking. I had people come back and say, good gracious, are you kidding me? You want that much for? Yes, they want that much for a projection screen. So in their category, these screens, the darker the screen, the gunmetals are the most expensive. So a gunmetal screen can cost you anywhere from $3,000 to all the way up to about $5,000, depending on what they're putting it in. If they're putting it in a motorized tension screen, your screen just jumped. If it's an ultra short though, only compatible, your screen just jumped. If it's outside, which I haven't seen too many of them outside, but pretty much are just white and gray screen, white and light gray screens, but your price still is going to jump. So let's give you an idea what you will go through. Now, that's it. And keep in mind, at the end of the day, like I said, you're going to get a much better improvement. The more money you spend, the better the improvement you're going to get. You can go out and spend money for a $3,000 Darkstar 9. It's not ultra short though compatible. So guess what? You're going to have to go out and buy the Darkstar 9 version that is ultra short though compatible, which is not going to be the same price as the $3,000 you're going to pay for the screen. You're going to pay a little more because there's no way in the world they're going to sit there and in the day and go, oh wait, this is ultra short compatible. Let's charge them the same $3,000. No, you're going to pay a little bit more. This is just for 100-inch only people. It's not for 120. For 150 or none of them. This is for 100-inch only. All right, perfect example with OLED screens. So keep in mind, in our demonstrations, this is why we test all our products against certified screens. Because at the end of the day, when somebody says, well, you know, what about your product worth this and that, we can back that up. But not only that, all these certifieds we have here, none of these screen paints are going to pass. They may pass with the lighter ones. The gunmetals are not even going to be the pickup because their screens can't pull a contrast level that high. The problem you're going to have with the darker mixes, they're going to be the pickup next to the gunmetal screens, but they can't pick up to the lighter screens because their white levels are poor. So that's the problem you're going to run with that. So they're not going to be able to compete with any of these at all whatsoever. Our technology, on the other hand, can show that it can compete on white levels, colors, and contrast versus all these screens with no problem, even on ultra short throw demonstrations. But any of these, no, You tell me when you've seen a demonstration on 18 certified screens on this product. Fully lit environment. I'm not talking about that dim lighting. I'm talking about fully lit environment. And I'm talking about contrast also. I'm not talking about doing the demonstration with pretty colors when all the lights, when the room is well lit. And then when you put in contrast levels, all of a sudden you got to turn out the lights. No. I'm talking about keeping the lights on, keeping the exact same environment you have when you're showing off the light colors all the way through to the dark colors and showing that your product can compete with all these screens in one hit. Not going to be done because it can't do it. Then that demonstration on the white screen downstairs. So this is what you run into. All right, so go on and do a little shopping. Got yourself a new projector. All right, now we're going to say a white version of the screen. This acoustic is much more expensive than a white screen. Usually most people get the white screen. That's what they get first. That's the most affordable one right there. And then they realize to get that screen, they turn the lights on and the colors don't work. They wash out, contrast washes out. They're unhappy with the screen. They want something a little darker. Then they go get a darker screen, which is a cinema gray. This is going to give you a much better color and contrast than this one, but this one's going to have much higher white levels. Then this is going to cost you around, if you got a cheap white screen, let's see, for my white Elite screen, I paid about $480 for it. Some of them get for $130, depends on, but usually ones have $130. The cheaper white ones don't have a higher advanced version of the screen. Then you go over and you get the cinema gray, 5D. Which is going to be a little bit darker than this one, which is going to show better color, it's going to show better contrast, and it's probably going to be much brighter, because you can see it has a much like kind of a silver kind of look to it, so it's a little brighter. It has a much higher gain than this one too, because this one over here has a 0.1 gain, and this one over here has a 1.5. So with that silver surface, it's going to give it a lot more reflecting, a lot more light, all right? Now, as you notice, this one still isn't pulling the contrast level you desire. You want that deep, dark, rich contrast level, and this is where this one comes in. This is the Dark Star 9. This is the one that's going to cost you $3,000. This is the one that has a 0.9 gain. This is the one that's going to produce contrast level and very good white levels. The white levels on this are very good because it has a reflective surface, and the reflective surface allows it to be able to read and accept white light much better than some of these screens right here that do not have the reflective surface. This one has the most advanced reflective surface out of this one. These two don't have it. So this one's going to be to give you the white levels. It's going to be to give you the contrast and give you the color, everything that you want. But it's going to cost you $3,000, and it's not going to be ultra short though compatible. You're going to have to get a version. If they do make a version, I think I do have a version that's ultra short though. Yeah, they do. They do have a version, but it's not. I don't think it's as dark as this one. Let me see. We have here. That's the bright. This is, here we go. I told you to have an ultra short though version of it. There it is. There's a Dark Star, but it's not a Dark Star 9, but it's an ultra short though 2, sealing the light rejection. So it's pretty dark right here, but not as dark as this one. This is still going to cost you more. I wonder if they have a darker version than that one. That's what I need to look into. But that's how it goes. So you run into that right there. Mind you, the white screen alone, if you got one from them, it's going to cost you about $480. Now, for our technology, the Phantom, which being the most advanced screen we have, cost around $329 for 48 ounces. That screen can beat all of these screens with no problem whatsoever. And it can do the ultra short throws at the same time. Makes it ultra short throw and long throw compatible, which means that technology has the ability to compete and outperform these certified screens in their ultra short throw form in the long throw form with no problem. It can pull up much higher white levels against any black surface, and the screen is fully weatherproof. And the 48 paints a screen size of a whopping 150-inch screen. These screens are at 100-inch range and anywhere from $800 all the way up to around $5,000. If you want 150-inch on one of these, well, guess what? You're going to have to sell your kids' college fund. Something's going to go at the end of the day because that's a very expensive screen. Keep in mind, DMP Supernovas at 180 inches are around, I think they should be cheaper now, but they're around about $16,000, somewhere around that price. And way back there, like I think around 18. All right, so as we just added it all up here, as you can see, because that's why I said tests are very important. None of these products here we have here have ever been tested on the level our products have been. None of them whatsoever. And they all fall in the same category of the same thing. As I said before, we have the Metallica Mix 2.0, We were able to make that with 10 tablespoons. We have that over in one of these containers right here. We have the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint right here that we made with silver. This one's made with just black and white paint. We're going to put these side by side. They're going to go against the gunmetal. We know at the end, you should know at the end, every time I do these demonstrations, you know I'm not just going to talk. We got to show also. These right here, which I'm setting up downstairs in the basement already, we're going to be setting up the black paint. So we have the black paints already painted already on this one and this one. These are the ones we did to show the white levels, to show a comparison between our products, because you have to do that. You have to show that there's a difference. At the end of the day, I can have a customer say, hey, look, I don't have to spend the money. I can just go out and buy black paint for $23 versus your $329. Well, at the end of the day, your black paint is basically going to show this dirty, ugly level of white levels. You're going to be to pick up your contrast, but everything's going to come out dark and dirty. That's what's going to happen. Same thing with the gray products, because they don't have to be black. We have these in gray products too. This is a little darker gray. That's more like near the edge of black, but this is more of a darker gray. These two, even though being gray, are still not going to be able to produce the contrast because your screen's not 100% black anymore. And your white levels are still going to suffer and still come out dirty. So we can show that and back that up. These products right here cannot back up the fact that you can basically make the exact same thing with black and white paint. They can't. There's no demonstrations showing that their products are anything different. We did it already. We made the products live. We basically put the ingredients in. We watched the tutorial video. We matched every last one of them perfectly with no problem whatsoever. All right, so it shows you at the end of the day what you're buying and what you're getting, and can they match your products? No, none of these screens right here will ever match a Phantom. A Phantom or Phoenix can blend into any one of these screens. Even with the screen I have in there, can blend into any one of these screens right here with no problem. The lighter gray mixes people and can produce better contrast and color, no problem. The darker screens, they can produce higher white levels, so they don't match your products at all. All right, and then we have this company here called Paint On Screens, which we ordered some paint from them. Actually, there's samples we got from them from Paint On Screens. This one right here is claiming to be a black screen. Clearly it's not black, because this is the product we made downstairs with the upstairs. This one has the 3 tablespoons of black paint. Let me pull this down right here for a minute. So contrast wise, this is going to pull the better contrast. This is going to pull the better white level. Interesting, these two come in very close together. I don't know why, but they do. We tested both of these together. All right, so we're going to take these for downstairs to black paints. We're going to make another one for ourselves. We're going to make one with 1 tablespoon. Just keep it simple. Keep it as close to dark as we possibly can get it, because these right here, I'm going to open up and show you the lids so you can see what we got on these, what colors we have. You can see them all from here. Let me bring it up this way better. All right, so let's get this organized in here. This right here is we made with this is the UV. This matched the UV perfectly. This one here was made with simple, basic a quart of white paint. A quart of white paint with the max out when that one was 6. We started off at 5, but 6 was the magic number. I was able to match the UV perfectly. Perfect match for UV. So that's how we knew it was in that one. And what I mean by he can't get upset over this, because this is what you should have been doing. When you first came out, when you did the bare silver screen comparison, you should have mixed black paint into that bare silver screen. And I told you already, because the bare silver screen is a very, very light, almost kind of a whitish kind of gray paint. And there's no way in the world that would have ever matched anything in your house if it had any black paint in it. So any screen that you had in there that had black paint there already had an advantage over that particular paint, and it would have matched. But the fact that you had to be that close on the screen to show the difference shows how close they came together. All you had to do was just drop in a couple of tablespoons of black. It'll blend it right into your screen with no problem whatsoever. So that's something you failed to show in your demonstration. That's what you should have did. You should have went out there and said, okay, look, They think my product is bare silver screen. This is what we're going to do. We're going to buy this bare silver screen. We're going to put it right here. We're going to make several different blends of it. We're going to make one with 2 tablespoons of black, one with 3, one with 4. We're going to mix these together, label them, and we're going to put them side by side to my screen. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to stand back here at around 13 feet or 8 feet from the screen, and we're going to do a color pattern. We're going to start with solid blues. We're going to have nothing camouflage in the screen so you can see the colors and their true form. So we're going to do blue, green, red, orange. We're going to do the white levels, contrast levels. That's how you should have did it. But you didn't do that. What you did was you went on there and you put your bare silk and painted on. Clearly you can see it was darker, lighter than the other screen. Put it up there and got right up on top. So you can see the difference between the color between this one and this one. It was like a difference between this and this. This is how close the difference was. Between this one and this one right here. See that right there? See the slight little difference right there? And then you backed all the way up and you couldn't even tell the difference. And you were in the dark. Now, if motion was moving across that screen, you're right. That's what you didn't do right. And you said, see, it's different. It's complete. It doesn't match. See, it's a slight little color right here. It doesn't even match. It's a huge difference. No, buddy, it's not a huge difference at all. Is it sunny outside right now? It isn't. You can tell the difference, right? All right, then. There you go. Keep in mind, people who buy from him, most of them are just some of the fans, but people who buy from him, it's sad because you don't know that. I don't mean to be rude or anything, but you people that come on there and talk about, oh, this, you laughed or laughed at. You're actually mocked and laughed at. I mean, you got to be kidding me. You can tell me you can't tell the difference, that those products look exactly alike. If that's the case, I got a bridge in Brooklyn. If you want, I can let it go for about 100 grand. Or if you want, you can lease it from me. I'll write you out a lease and everything. You can buy that bridge from me. It'll be your bridge for you, only for you. Sorry to speak to you that way, but that's how you come off. That's literally how you come off. Now, for those who don't know any better, those who are getting the projection for the first time, and you don't know any better, it's not your fault. Hey, you know what I mean? People get duped on fake knockoff projectors all the time. They go and they buy them. They think they're going to be 15,000 lumens. They don't know. They're buying a projector for the first time. We didn't have projectors like that about 5 years ago. You had some of them that came over and they were pretty good, but we didn't have a flood of them like we have now. So chances are, when I first started off, I would have bought one of those. So like I said, I didn't know anything about projectors, and I'm thinking like, wow, 15,000 lumens over 2,800 lumens. I mean, at that time, a 3,000 lumen projector was considered to be powerful. You know what I mean? Well, actually, no, it wasn't 3,000. It was probably 28 was considered to be powerful. So, I would have been duped into buying it myself because I didn't know anything about lumens or none of that stuff. So that's understandable. When that's what he hopes to prey on. He hopes to prey on people that don't have a knowledge or can't see through his bullcrap. That's what he hopes, that people can't see that. But at the end of the day, people see it. All right, so this is what we're going to do, people. We're going to take, these are ours right here. We're going to show you the tops. We're going to pop the tops and show you what we got here for each one. If you want, we'll put the video link in on how we did the test, the demonstrations. And like I said, our intentions weren't to make the product, to see how close we came to the product. As I said before, when he did the bare silver screen demonstration, he should have did multiple containers showing multiple mixtures going against his product. And he didn't do so. That right there was the first red flag that popped up, that product has black. The other products have black paint into it because they would have matched. This right here is our 3 tablespoons into black paint. Right there, that's the color we got from that one. Much lighter. This one over here is our, we got it marked at the bottom, 2 tablespoons, so that way if I lose the lids, I'm good. That's our 2 tablespoons right there. So this is 2 tablespoons. Oh, I'm hitting the crap out of my stand. This is 2 tablespoons, and that right there is 3 tablespoons. Another huge major red flag that popped up is when he had all his mixes lined up and he took the tops of them. I'm like, what in the world? They were actually, I can tell just by looking at them, they were only a couple of shades off by how much black paint he was putting in. There was no huge difference. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I looking at what I think I'm looking at? Mind you, we did this stuff already. We had this stuff back in the day with different shades of it. It was only off by a different shade. Can you tell which one of these has 2 and which one has 3? There you go. You can't. But here, show it differently. Look, it's a different shade right here. This one pulls a better contrast. Yeah, it's going to pull. It's just a common sense. It's going to pull a better contrast due to the fact that it has more black paint than the other one does. Let me see. So let me get these mixed up. This one right here we made has 4. This is the personal mix. It's matched the personal mix perfectly. See? Match the personal mix. We got a personal blend on this one. This one actually is, I got some chips in there, gonna make a difference. This is actually the one we made with 4. So we got 2, 3, and 4. All right, let's keep it going. This is the one we made with 10. This matched the Cinemax. Not Cinemax, sorry. It matched the Metallica mix perfectly, and about 90% of the personal mix. Mind you, there's no glitter in this. There's no glitter. There's no silver. None of that. This is just basic black and white. This is coming off his tutorial video. So we use his tutorial video to make the product. Now, if he feels, like I said, if he feels that I'm wrong and what I'm doing here, if I'm wrong, all you got to do is just come on YouTube, do a live stream, and basically make these products. I'll post the ingredients, I'll make the products, and put it against your product, and do the exact same demonstration. And I don't want to see it in the dark. I want to see you pull that camera back. I want to see with the lights on, show the contrast levels, show the white levels, and show the color. And it has to be a massive difference between night and day. I don't want to see a little bump of color and say, look. And you shouldn't have to be that close to the screen to begin with. You should be back at a distance. If none of these match your product, then just back it up. Because at the end of the day, you can say, well, do the same thing with black paint. We did. It's right over there. We did it yesterday. Or the day before yesterday we did it. And we're planning to do more. We're planning to do a lot more of them. I like doing those. Those are fun. All right, so that's our 4 right there. Right there for that one. We got this one for that one right there. Now this one, additional crystal screen paint, does have silver, does have glitter in it. We're going to see if there's a difference than the one with the glitter than the one with the silver. Now, mind you, when I was coming up and making it, I really thought that the silver was doing something. The glitter did, depending on how much you put into it. You put a lot of glitter into it, you get that Christmas tree effect. But yeah, the glitter did give it a somewhat of a little bump. That's basically about it. But then at the end of the day, you had to deal with the Christmas tree effect. That's what you had to deal with. Every time your projector would come on, colors would just blend all together. What are you doing? Are you fighting your fish? You doing battle with your fish? Battle with your fish. Huddle. What you need, buddy? It's my cat. I'm gonna get my cat a samurai. I saw these on Facebook. They got samurai outfits for the cats that they can wear. I'm getting them one. Because all day long, I'm like, rawr, 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 ground through the house, my little samurai. All right, so these are our mixes right here. These are the ones we made right here. We're gonna be doing some demonstrations outside. As I said before, I already know how and not to be rude here, he needs to do some demonstrations on the Frankensteins. Now, the Frankensteins, as I said, those particular darker mixes like that are different. They come in the area of the UB. The fastest way we make them that way, because if you do it the other way, you're going to have to put a ton. Well, I'm not trying to do a tutorial on how to make these products. That's wrong. I apologize for that one. But how we made the UB pretty much gives an idea exactly how the other ones were made. The UB being with 6 tablespoons of black paint into gray paint gave us this level right here. So just by getting this level alone, we automatically know right from the door how the Frankenstein and how the other ones are designed. We know how it's designed already, just by that level right there. All we have to do is just look at the screen, and we can look at that paint and know exactly how we're to calculate how much to put in to do it. He didn't make it hard. You gotta make it hard. You know what I mean? Even when I seen the demonstration with the guy who has the product called Simple Black, there's a guy who has a paint called Simple Black. Way before, I think Crow has a product named Simple Black. I'm pretty sure he does, but it's made and it looks exactly the same way when he first started off bringing out this product. This product is old, he had before, but it looks exactly the same. It does. So we have one here with glitter, one here with silver paint. We'll put the ingredients and I'll put the video how I made this. It's called How I Made My First Paint. We'll show you that one and we'll put it right next to this one and show you won't see a difference. So this is going to be the digital one, crystal screen paint right here we have on this one. All right. Next to these particular ones we have here. And as I said before, I know he's going to get upset over this, but hey, look, It's your fault. You should have tested your products better, and you should have. This is not in any way to slander you or this and the other. This is for tests, okay? If you take your product down to a test facility, guess what, buddy? They're going to run it through the grinder. They're going to put it through everything that you don't put your screen through. And if you sit there and you complain about it, then guess what? They're going to say, well, guess what? We enjoyed your time here. Here's your plane ticket. Bye-bye. That's what they're going to tell you, because you shouldn't have a problem. If you're claiming your product is be something that it's not, and they take it down to that facility to test it on the level that you displayed it, and it doesn't work, or you complain about it, bye, go home. So you should be back. If you're saying your product is doing all these things it's supposed to do, it shouldn't be a problem. If you're saying your product is different from any other product or screen paint product on the market, this should not be a problem. This is a basic test that you should be doing, not me. You should be doing this. Now, I'll do a whole entire video on myself of making all different forms of black paints, all different forms. We can write chalk paint, we'll have a ball with it, and we'll throw it against that Phantom of Phoenix all day long and show white levels, and you'll watch that screen. After we did half of that already, and you'll watch that demonstration, me doing it to my own screen on live. So if I can do that, why would you be upset about this? All right, then. If he's upset and he's bothered by this, and this is something he should have did to begin with, that clearly tells you that, yeah, something's wrong. That's another major red flag. Now, the only problem I have with you when you test our products is the fact that you don't have our products. You mix our products with a lot of black paint, trying to make them look darker than what they are. That's the problem we have with you. You don't do honest demonstrations. If you went down and did an honest review, hey, no problem. But you don't do that, because as the guy said in the video, he will do anything he can to manipulate someone else's product to make his product look good. And that's what he does. And you see it in the way he performs and things that he does, constantly manipulating. So at the end of the day, since we do demonstrations against our own products, throwing black paint against our own screens, what do you have left? Oh, you're going to take black paint, throw it against the screen. Oh, look, this is how the screen turns out. Yeah, buddy. Sure. Yeah. All right, let's get this started. We're gonna take the digital one. This will show you how many we have. We're gonna show you how many combinations we have made. We made lots of combinations. We have a lot. We have more than what we need. For our black ones, our black screens, we have plenty of these right here. We're gonna make another one here. On this one, we're gonna make a darker version, a much darker version. We have a darker kind of UV mix right here, right there. And as I said before, I requested on the UV mix multiple times, more than one time, can we see the screen with a white screen behind it, displaying white levels to see if it's reacting the same way we have over here? It was never done. So that tells you something right there, that if you can't do the test himself, that means at the end of the day, it does what it does. All right. Because as I said before, you know, if you're going to claim that you made my products, you have my permission. I gave it to you 3 times in a row. Make my product, post my ingredients, I'll make it over here, and I'll stick it against my own screen. Let's see if it matches. Or if you want to show me my screen against black paint, buy any black paint you want. Do a demonstration. I'll buy the same thing and do the same demonstration you just did. And I'll do it live. All right, then. I thought so. You got to be to back your work up. That's the problem. You can't back your work up. You got to back it up. Any one of these big companies down here sitting with certifieds attached to them, if they said this screen could do something that they claim in their demonstrations, I guarantee you they're going to come to back it up. They're going to have the data, they're going to have the report, they're going to have the testing to show that, hey, we did this, we did that, it was done. All right, we're going to come in here, we're going to grab this in here because he's going to get into a frenzy. He's going to get upset. He's going to go full Karen mode. Full Karen mode. We don't care. Because at the end of the day, he should be doing these tests anyway. You should be seeing these tests anyway. Like I said, he did the bare silver screen. You should have saw 4 different individuals of paint on that table, and you should have saw 4 different mixtures. You should have mixed it 4 different ways, like 2 here, 3 here, so and so and so. Let's line all these up. Let's have all the lights on. Let's see how it reacts to contrast. We don't want to see lights out when the contrast comes. We want to see lights on, so we see how it's going to react to the environment. Because what you're telling your customers that every time you do a demonstration and it shows contrast levels and they have to ensure a dark environment, you're telling them, okay, if you want to use contrast levels with this screen, you're going to have to be in the dark. But if you want to have lights on and you want to show pretty colors, you can show pretty colors. That's what you're doing. Have those lights on. Let's get ourselves a measure. So I'm going to make a cup. I love making the black paints. I really do. We got to make something really crazy. We'll do something different. Maybe we'll do one with glitter in it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll get something. Walla, walla, walla. Walla, walla, walla. Jolly World? All right, so we got two setups going on at the same time. Whew, we got the black screen downstairs for that setup, and we got the other screen. Matter of fact, what is it all on the black screen? Might as well. They're all on the black screen. What's all on the black screen? It's darker than gunmetal. It's a harder challenge. We got some frog tape for this. So what we're going to do is I was going to do it on the gunmetal, but the Phoenix is darker than the gunmetal. And that's more of a challenge for me. Well, we just go with the darker screen. It's more of a challenge. Because I remember saying that, well, the white levels come off better on your screen because your screen is gunmetal. It's not, it's a dark gunmetal, but that black screen downstairs, that's what we need to do the demonstration on. So we got set up downstairs right now. Okay. So, I need a tablespoon to measure that out. And there's something else I'm missing too. What's in the next room? What's in the next room? Here's the frog tape. All right. Make sure you got everything on us. And we need a tablespoon for our measurements. Wow, it's kind of tested stuff. So what's the difference? There's no difference. It all looks the same. Okay, let's see. We got our tablespoon. We'll make sure we got our measurements right. There's our frog tape. Make sure I have to lose this because we're going to need this downstairs. Like I said, if he gets bothered by this, he gets upset, he's ranting and carrying on, understand, you should be doing this yourself, man. These are tests you should be doing. On camera, live. If I can come on here, we got to test the screen out today. So if I can come on camera, I can show you that gunmetal going against all these certified screens. I can show you on ultra short throw. I can show you on low lumens. I can show you on distance throw. I can show you white level tests. All these things we do. We just got finished doing the red screen yesterday on low lumens. I can show you all this stuff, no problem. What is the problem with you doing these tests? Why would you be upset over this? If anything, this is something you should do. As a matter of fact, in one of the tests I did on the red screen, I literally forgot to do the ambient light test. I had to go back in, put the test back in again, and do that test too so it could be included, not skip it. So if there's the problem with you being upset over this video, it clearly shows that you got caught. Or maybe this is how you're making your products. Because at the end of the day, you should be doing these tests to show your customers, especially if you got a video floating around of you basically showing you making a black and white paint called Metallica Mix 2.0. So that's another red flag. You should be doing these tests to give some kind of confidence back to your customers that, hey, at the end of the day, you're not buying black and white paint from me. Because if you're going to come out there and say, hey, Ken, I believe 100% your product is black paint. Well, here you go, Crow. This is black paint, and I'm going to go farther than that. Black fabric, black vinyl, throw a t-shirt up there. Everything. You see how I do demonstrations. I just go over, a little bit overboard to do. And if 4,000 lumens is saying it's too high, then guess what? We'll drop it down to 1,000. All right, then. I can back it. When it comes to you, you ignore multiple requests. You come off with insults and middle fingers and so, yeah, it doesn't look professional. So you can't get upset over this. You can't. You should have been doing this. Now, mind you, I'm making this product right here. We have in this container for my screen, not for yours, mine, to display my screen's white levels versus these different dark mixes. What's the problem? All right, then. Because he'll go full Karen over there. He'll be going full Karen. He'll be over there pulling out his hair and Q&As and basically, or that, if he doesn't do the Q&A, he'll probably do a Q&A, try to explain himself. Don't explain anything in the Q&A. Do the test. Stop doing the Q&As. Stop going in and explaining. Don't explain nothing. Back it up. You know, talk is talk at the end of the day. Got to back it up. All right, let's get all this out of the way. I want to make sure. We got to make it first. We got to make it first. So we want to do this one simple. The first one we did, this is for my screen, mind you. My screen. The first one we did 3 tablespoons of white to make that one. To make this one, we did 5 into this one. Make that one. Gave you the ingredients on how to make it. Make it yourself. See what your results are going to be. This one, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to put 1 tablespoon of black in it. That's it. That's all we're going to put into it. Because like I said, if you're going to try to make a black screen, one of the things you're going to have to worry about, if you put, people are going to automatically put white paint in it from the door because they think the white paint is going to improve the white levels. But, you know, if you put too much white paint into it, if you look at it and say, oh, it's too dark, the white levels are not going to pull. And if you put too much white into it, then you're going to be in a gray area, which means now your screen is no longer eligible for black, which means any black screen, even black paint, can produce a higher contrast level than your screen. Now, if you put glitter in this, glitter's not going to change anything. Glitter's not going to make your screen bright. Maybe make it a little bit brighter. That's big, but you're going to put a lot into it. And the more you put in it, the more the Christmas tree effect comes out. So it gets nightmarish after a while. So if you put glitter in it, your chances are 1/2 of a teaspoon, you're not going to see it at all. You're going to see a little bit there, but nothing's going to really give you any change in your white levels whatsoever. So I'm like, I put some glitter in it. No, it won't. Your levels will still come out dark. So we're going to make one. We can't put silver in this, mind you. You put silver in this, you know what's going to happen? Your contrast levels are going to drop. And if you already got white paint in it, you drop silver in anything you put in there is going to be lighter than this, it's automatically going to start dropping your contrast levels. Automatically, your contrast levels have just dropped. So now you will not be equal to a black screen. Even though it looks like it's black, you still are not going to be able to pull the white level to the black screen. It's going to be 100% black. See, it's complicated now. It just gets crazy now. I get naysayers in here watching it, but like, I wonder how he's doing this. What is he making? How is he doing that? Would you like to lick this batter? No, I'm only joking with you. I'm playing with you. But yeah, here we go. All right, so that's just one. That's just one by itself. That's just one, okay? So we're gonna put this, we gotta mark this one off. Where's my top for this one? So we're making this out the actual container we're using, and you have to mark this one. This is one. That's why Campbell soup is good. It's an old jump from back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember that. Some of y'all might, some of y'all might not. Remember the Campbell soup jingle used to come on when the boy was having the tomato soup. I couldn't stand the tomato soup, man. Even if it had, the only thing I would eat, my mother would make tomato soup and give us a grilled cheese sandwich. I'd eat the grilled cheese sandwich and give the dog the soup. I couldn't stand tomato soup. Ooh. That was her way of basically trying to get me to eat vegetables. I couldn't stand tomato soup. Hated that stuff. This day, I still don't even like it. I gotta put cheese in it sometimes. A little cheese will help, but other than that, no. All right, so we're gonna mark this off so we know exactly what that one is. This is gonna be one. I'll mark this off as one. One. This one of black. Right there. All right, so these are mine. This is for me. These are mine for me. We can't put these against his products because they're not going to work. This is a dark screen. Well, I'm curious to see too now on top of that. We're going to have to paint a bigger screen and see what happens. So, no. Because it won't, at the end of the day, it's not going to be a fair match. We'll put it against the UB. Let's see how the UB compares to these products we have here. Because if I have to do my dark screen, so I have to do a dark screen. This is actually technically, people all know, unless he has a physical black screen, which I haven't seen, this will be the darkest product he has right here. So let's see how that matches up to that and that. So we come up and we'll put the paint on screen. So he's not alone because you want to make sure he's not alone. We'll put the paint on screen. So the paint on screen is a pretty dark screen too. All right, let's get our screen painted up. All right, because we already got a mixture right here that we made. I got to get all this stuff over here. All this stuff cleaned up. All this stuff cleaned up. All this stuff cleaned up. Oh, those of you that are wondering about the shipping, don't worry about that. We got you taken care of. I got to restock. We're going to be restocking all this. So we're going to have you guys taken care of. And then we got the new 48 containers, which means any of you have ordered 2 quarts or 1 quart from us, you now have the big 48s. The big 48. We're going to call it now the big 48s. The big 48s. That's what you have. The big 48s. So now you get more paint for the same price. All right, where's my whatchamacallit at? This is the surface I used when I did my demonstration against black paint versus my screen. I painted on the surface just like this. Remember that? There we go. All right, let me see. Let's get this started. So we need one of these post office boxes right here, which you're going to be using. Right there. We got our brush out. And let's begin. That's why Campbell soup is good. I go back and I like to watch the 80s and the 70s and 60s commercials from back in the day. Sometimes I get on my phone and I will Google the store to see if the store is still there and existing. It's a shame. A lot of good stores, man, back in the 80s, even the 60s went out of business. These were good stores, man. These were good stores, went out of business. You know, some of them are still around. Some of them are still around. But a lot of the stores went out of business. It's a shame. It's crazy about malls, man. I mean, when I was coming up, malls was all the rage, man. Malls have been out for a while, man. If you know what I'm saying, malls have been out since the 50s. But malls were all the rage, man. You know what I mean? Now, malls are dinosaurs, man. They're going out of business. Franklin Mills, man. Franklin Mills. I remember Franklin Mills when Franklin Mills first opened up in its heydays. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, man. Now, Franklin Mills looks like a freaking, not an oasis, but it looks like a wasteland of Mad Max. Went to a store one time. We did some shopping down there before COVID kicked in. Went down there. There was like clothes thrown all over the floor. It was like a complete mess in there. Like people just really didn't care. But at the end of the day, I mean, the place was going down. Malls aren't the future anymore. Because you know what killed malls? Well, first we all know it was pretty much stores like Walmart and stuff like that. They pretty much executed them in places like that. But even Walmart now got to deal with Amazon. And Amazon is destroying everything. I mean, think about it. At the end of the day, I mean, even with COVID, at the end of the day, you really don't have to go anywhere. You can order everything from your house, have it shipped to you. Just about anything you could possibly think of, Amazon carries. Amazon carries food. Everything. Everything. Anything you want, you can get it right from Amazon. So stuff I need for my house and, you know, personal stuff and all that other stuff I need, get it right from Amazon. The only thing I don't like about Amazon for the time being, because sometimes you really don't know what the heck you're freaking buying, because it never says bulk at the end of it. It never says bulk. Well, most times it just says bulk. I bought like Captain Crunch, and usually, you know, with a lot of price gouging still going on with some merchants and stuff, I paid like $36. It wasn't for like, I thought it was probably going to be like 3 boxes, you know, family size boxes. Captain Crunch boxes are pretty big. So you're talking about 36 bucks. So I'm thinking I'm probably gonna get 3 boxes out of this. So I dropped 36 bucks on it. I go up, get it the next day. 2 days after that, I go outside. There is a huge box sitting on my freaking porch. And I'm like, what the frick is this? I didn't order a game chair. And it was Captain Crunch. It was from like 20 boxes in there. 20 boxes of Captain Crunch. What the freak am I doing with 20 boxes of Captain Crunch? After a while, that's going to pretty much get to the point where it's going to be disgusting after a while because it's 20 boxes. So I had to call over some friends like, yo, you like Captain Crunch? Enjoy. Yeah, that happened to me a couple of times. Because now they're selling things in bulk, more in bulk than anything else because people are still buying things. They're stocking up on things. Bought mayonnaise. Ended up getting a case of 6. Well, that comes in handy, but I'm cooking it all. But yeah, like 20 boxes of. I'm like, what? My friend's like, why? And I was like, I didn't think it didn't say bulk at the bottom. So that's what I ended up with. But that happened to me a few times. But yeah, I only needed like 3 boxes. That's basically about it. Because after a while, that stuff was making me, these were making me sick. 20 boxes of Captain Crunch. Yeah, Mother George. The captain can make it happen. All right. On the way of carrying my screen downstairs, I dropped it. Didn't mess it up, but I hit my floors. Why? Yeah, white boards in this house. Why? Always white floors. Alright, so I gotta be up because number one, we have to do these demonstrations in the dark, so we need the downstairs to be as dark as possible. Because I guess there's more of an impact when we do it in the dark because, you know, then, you know, our screens are ambient light rejection technology. And a lot of these screens are not going to be able to hold their weight next to a screen that's designed to accept light. So we do it in the dark. We play in their land. We play in their backyard. All right? So if I take this outside, I did this demonstration, the screens wouldn't hold up too well. We play in their backyard. So we do this in the dark. So that's why we got to be up at a certain time. Let's get this downstairs. All finished. It's going to be dry no time at all. Whew. Man, and I got to still take trash out today, too, on top of that. Okay, there we go. Come down. Yeah, this is not done to be for evil tactics. A lot of people think, oh, he's doing this to be. No. Everybody's product goes through this with us. Not just his product, everybody. The reason why we don't test anybody else's product, because with screen paint, because No one makes the accusations that he does. No one. At all. Makes those accusations. Demonstration he caught himself doing on Frankenstein. Oh, I couldn't believe he actually posted that. Some of the stuff I wondered, like, what are you thinking when you post these things? He did this demonstration post of Frankenstein, claiming that the screen was able to pull up images in the daytime hours. And his, I guess his walkway coming to his apartment, he has this thin little area where walkway people walk up. Usually they have those in Cali. And I've seen them in Florida too, but mostly in Cali. But anyway, that walkway they have up there. So he had the screen where the sun was coming up on this side over here. And he had the screen slanted like that. That's how we did the demonstration, on a slant, just like that. So that means that when the light was coming in from back here, it was hitting the back of the screen. He had a little bit of light like this, so some of it could grace the side of the screen. But you can see in the middle of the screen where the center part of the screen, you could see the image, but all around the corners was completely washed out. And then he brought it inside the house, and he had a window right here, and he had it on the floor. So he put it down under where the window was at and had the projector up close to show you that his screen could pick up this amazing image. That was the biggest fail I've ever seen in my entire life. Number one, this is why we tell him, if you ever see him give him instructions on a challenge, the screen has to lay flat. At all times, the screen must lay flat. So that way, light can pass back and forth across the screen, not have it on a slant where light's going to hit the back of the screen. Can't do that. Come on, man. You're cheating in every freaking possible way you can possibly think of. And then you take the screen inside and you put it under the window, and the screen's about this big, and you're still doing sort of a smaller cookie cutter screen under a window. And then you got a nerve to point at the window. What are you pointing at the window for? That's not even making contact with the screen. The screen's not even as tall as the window. So that's the kind of stuff. And I go through the same. That's the only person who does this stuff. All the other people I've watched, no, they don't do this stuff. They do the same thing. Ambient light controlled environment, same as usual. This is why. Now, if you were doing your own thing and you never mentioned my company's name ever to begin with, then you wouldn't have come up on my radar. I'll just bypass you like I do all the rest of them. Whatever, go past and do what I got to do. But if you basically started doing the dumb stuff you were doing, you caught my attention. And now, since me having an expert in both fields in black technology in this green paint product from 7 years ago, I can pretty much dig into your Pandora's box and find all your skeletons, all of them. There is nothing you'll be able to make. We won't be able to find out exactly how it's designed, because I know how you make your products. You make your products the exact same way. Every last one of them had the exact same identity, that black and white, that black and white, that black and white. Doesn't make a difference. Whatever you put into it, it's still going to be black and white. You drop glitter into it, and if you put a ton of glitter into it, then like I said, you run into the Christmas tree effect. Here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Do 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 do. That's where you end up at. Santa Claus Lane. Got a remote control right here. Let's get downstairs. See what we got going on. I gotta take the Wi-Fi off because down here, Wi-Fi is lifted. See that right there? That is the inflatable screen that's being turned into gunmetal. Ah, oh faithful, look at this. Reason why, like I said, even looking at your demonstrations, we knew your screen wasn't black because look at the black border on the white screen and look at the black screen. You didn't even come close to even matching your speakers. That screen is darker than the remote control. So if I took that mouse and I put it next to your screen, I was like, it doesn't even match my mouse. Yeah. Come on, who are you fooling? Who are you fooling? At the end of the day, who are you fooling? What you're fooling is you're fooling people that basically are buying projection screens for the first time. That's who you're fooling. That's who you're hoping to prey on. Because those are the ones who are not going to ask a lot of questions. They're just going to see it and be happy with it. You're not going to explain nothing to them at all. Can't explain anything to them because only so far you can go with this. Here's our meters. Like the same thing when he came in talking about the meter nonsense. I ignored that the first couple of times because I'm like, man, you know how much light my house pulls in? Like, I have pulls in a lot of serious light down here that I have in my shop with no extra lights. We have no extra lights down here, just the shop lights. Pulls in 18, easily. Upstairs, we didn't have any lights running upstairs at all. And we was pulling in 18. Some of the meter wasn't even picking up in half part of the house. I had to tuck it in a corner just to get a reading. And then you're going to challenge you to a meter test. And at that, I'm thinking, like, we're sitting there talking about it, like, why would he challenge you to a meter test? You do demonstrations outside, not inside. So I ignored it. And then the Crow boys thought, oh, we got something on him. He's ignoring us. Let's keep pressing, keep pressing. All right, you want to open up that Pandora's box? All right, let's see what happens. Did the demonstration, bought me a certified meter, went online, did the research on it because they had a lot of them out there. I want to make sure I got one that I could use that was user-friendly. And I'm pretty sure when we brought the meter out, my environment was pulling 10 times more light than his. I was still maintaining my image from corner to corner, and I was doing it while going against certified screens at the same time. So now he gets infuriated over that. Oh, he doesn't know how to use a meter. Really? So you mean to tell me that all the people that I watched doing demonstrations on this particular meter, right, showing you how to use it, very simple, very easy. That's why I watched the tutorial to see how complicated it was so I can learn how to use it. Were wrong, and you were the only one that was right? Okay, that's what usually people do when they're found out that when they lose something or lose a challenge, they start making excuses. You know people like that. You beat them in football stats or something like that, and they start bringing back old players that don't even exist anymore. What else? So. Yeah, whatever. We're talking about the present. You know what, now. So that's pretty much what he did. And keep in mind, you were using a cell phone app, which is unpredictable. This is a certified machine that I'm using. Then he goes out and buys the same certified machine and goes, I'm going to show you how to use it. It's very simple, people. Very simple. These are the people who try to make things sound so complicated when they're not. So let's set our meter down over here. And this is what my meter brings in my environment. See that reading right there? If I can get it a little bit. There we go. That's what my work environment brings in. All I got to do is set on the floor. Boom, automatic 18 right from the door. That's how much light we pull down here. I don't have to add any extra lights in the environment. No little red lights here. No blue over here. None of that. This is the environment I work in every day. So that's why I tell people, you want to complain about people not meeting a reader right. Let me tell you about adding extra light in your environment that should never be to begin with. That little red light you use in your demonstration, if you're not using that little red light in all your demonstrations, then it shouldn't be in the room with the meter. Because you have that light in there to add extra light at that time when you're using the meter to jump your settings. You should only use the lights in the environment, and only use a light that you use in the environment every day when you display your screens. If you display your screen on contrast levels, if you're doing a level with showing a well-lit environment with your windows open in the back and you're showing your pretty colors, well, guess what? When you do a contrast demonstration, it should be in the exact same environment. Nothing should change in the environment. It should always be the same. Unless you're changing the environment itself. So if I'm in here, everything stays the same. If we go outside, everything stays the same. That's what I do in demonstrations outside. You can't manipulate that outside. You can't. There's no way around it. You can't put walls up or anything. You can't manipulate it. It is what it is out there. And light is out there. It's going to do two things. It's going to drop a little bit or it's going to get insane. So that's why I like to do ambient light rejection demonstrations outside than inside. Because you got a screen that can pass outside, then inside it's like, whatever. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Let me see if we're plugged in. No, we're not even plugged in. We got to get attached in here. But yeah, all the extra lights in the room. That's when I first saw the demonstration he did. And he showed off this meter test with the cell phone. Number one, the cell phone's inaccurate. It's not certified because you're getting it off an app. You don't know where that's coming from. Number two, why do you have all those lights hitting that meter at the same time? And then you have it right in the center of the top where the projector's at. So say if, okay, my meter's there, and I drop my meter, let's see, let's throw it over here. Let's throw it behind the projector. So now we're going to throw it behind my projector over here. Sorry about that. Get my phone against the balance in here a little better. And we're at 15 and rising. Anywhere I drop that meter at, it's going to basically pick up light. This room is very well lit. But this is the everyday light I have here. Nothing changes in the environment. When I saw the demonstration that he was doing, he had all these freaking lights in the room. Why do you have all these lights in the room? Because you're trying to demonstrate on how your screens can take in all this ambient light and still maintain an image. Well, you should be doing that regardless. You don't need those lights in the environment, because when someone watches your demonstration, they're not going to watch with all those lights in the environment at all, period. How do your screens really pick up in your environment without any form of adding anything to it? How's it really looking there? Now, keep in mind, when he did that demonstration, he was coming up at 220. So if he came up at 220 and the average one was like 3 something, he was way below that level. We'll put that right there. Let's get we'll get the motorizers plugged in. Let me see. We're putting right here. Let's get this done. All right, our screen's almost dry over here. Okay, we should have some juice, some power. There we go. Got the remote controls. Where the remote controls at? Let me see. Right over here. Got my chair set up. I can't wait. We're going to be testing this today. This is going outside today. We're going to do the inflatable. I got my buckets. In case we get a little wind out there, I got my buckets with my bricks. We're going to basically tie everything down. So tonight I'm going to do a demonstration over there. Because my neighbors on this side, you see the screen display yesterday? Oh, we had some fun with that screen. I can't wait to get, I pretty much try to do two videos that would match better together, like in scenery, which came out pretty good with the fish and all, and it just gave me an idea to how it's going to look if we do it in 235.1. Can't wait to get that projector in here. You have any idea how insane it's going to look? 198-inch 235.1. Woo! That screen's going to be amazing. Cannot wait. A few of my neighbors did come out, because they saw me on camera moving back and forth. They're nice people. They didn't want to come out and disrupt my video. And the guy kind of waved. I was like, hey, come on over, man. You know, so. You know what I mean? He's quiet the whole time. He's like, wow, that's crazy. I said, yeah. I said, I'm setting up an inflatable on this side, and you guys will be able to see it from your window by there. We're doing an inflatable on that side. Yeah, them black screens look like OLEDs outside. Look just like OLEDs. The same demonstrations I was doing inside the house, we were doing outside. Look just like OLED TVs. All right, people, we're almost there. We got to do this with lights out and make sure I don't step on my screen over there because I'm working on that thing. So we'll bring the black screen up. These are demonstration tests that we do on ourselves. All right? As I said before, you can't be over there crying and whining. If I'm over there doing these tests myself against my own screen, at the end of the day, you should be doing these tests also too. And if you feel that I'm wrong, take any one of the ingredients I'll be posting at the bottom of this video, make it yourself, do a side-by-side demonstration, and show a huge, massive difference. I can show you a massive difference with the lights out versus the black screen versus our screens. There we go. This is the one we made upstairs using the 1 tablespoon of, let me get my screen out for a minute. The 1 tablespoon of black paint, white paint in the black paint. Let's move this over some. Let's see what we got to do here. Get this adjusted and get it going. We need that shit, number one. We don't want to play. What are you doing? Upstairs now. Let's go. I see you. Looking right at you, buddy. Why do cats do that? Like, they sit there and will stare at you like you don't see them. Like, literally will sit there and stare at you for like an hour like, you do know I can see you, right? Like, I think they think they got some kind of cloaking device built in. Like, just because you have night vision doesn't mean I can't see you, buddy. My goodness. Just looking at me, creeping upstairs slowly, like if I move slow enough, he will not be able to detect me. My cloaking device. I can see you. As I cat was like, you know I can see you, right? Oh my goodness, man, that's little cats are funny. Sitting looking right at me. This is the joys of blend shift, people. There you go. So we're at 18. We're 18 downstairs, and this is the image we're picking up on our screen. At 18, right from the door. No extra lights, nothing at all. And we're in 720p. I left the 1080p over there because we don't need it. Let me see. We have the. We're going to strip in the back. Okay, that means we can add sound to this too. Let's see. Yeah. That's what I'm going online. You think I'm going to do Black Friday in the middle of COVID? Yeah, right. You lost your freaking mind. I'll be on Cyber Monday. That's where I'm going to be at. There you go. Mind you, we got the same 100-inch we got here, or 92-inch on this screen. We got them outside back to back on 250 inches outside, and they pour up at 4 o'clock. 4:16 now, I'm finding out. All right, so let's get this up back up. We're going to have to drop Wi-Fi, so it's going to give us a small little bump for a minute. The Wi-Fi has to come out of here. We can't run it in this area. Let's get our black paint. We got upstairs the 3 different mixes that we have. Yeah, you need to keep your stuff out of trouble, buddy. Okay, so we have here all our screen paint products. What we have here all together. We've got our tape. So let's begin. Bring our screen down once again. This is a demonstration that needs to be done. When you're testing your product, you have to be in a very well lit environment, and you have to be able to show the difference between your product and a black screen or white screen. Sorry about that. Should see the black screen too. So let's get our lights out so we can begin. I'm going to make sure before we do that, let's go over to Skyworth food demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
All right, we'll go right there. And we'll pull up. Now mind you, this one was made with 1 tablespoon of white paint into a quart of black paint. This one was made with 5. Because when someone's trying to make a black screen paint, they're going to try to put white paint into it. One thing they're going to put white paint in anything. So if you put white paint in there, that is going to produce the white levels on the screen. That's going to give you that white levels, be the pickup color and all that good stuff right there. The only problem is if you put too much in, you start leaning into the areas of a gray screen. So we automatically seen from 3 and 5 automatically leans to a gray screen, a very dark gray screen, but a gray screen. So the darkest one we have over here is this one right here, which is actually showing 1. All right? See how that looks gray? That's actually made with the 85. Okay, so let's put this one right here. All right, so let's see how these go against our technology. Doing the test on our own screens. We'll do these with the lights out. We'll show you at the end of the day how people do fake demonstrations on our products by using everyday black paint and trying to make our products look dark. You want to hear something really interesting? One of the things I noticed on the demonstration that Jamie did on the Phoenix was the fact that when he painted out the Phoenix, it was actually lighter than the 8. It was lighter than the 12, much, much lighter, because he had to be to show that his product could pull I don't know where he's going with that, but for some reason when I looked at it, it wasn't as dark as it was. It's usually this screen is black. So when he painted it out, and we'll go back if he didn't delete the video, you'll see where the product is gray, not black. It's a very dark gray. So that's how he makes a lot of his black products, try to make a lot of his black product or darker products the same way he made the UV, on the edge of being almost near black, but being gray. The only problem you have with that is that the UV, when we got it over here, if we put that against a black screen and show a star field demonstration, a star field would display which one's pulling contrast and which one's not. All right, so let's start off with the lady right here. And let's see what we get if you try to make our product by using any one of these mixtures. How are your white levels going to pull up? There you go with the white levels right there. So let's pause it right here. So this is what happens if you try to make your own product by saying that, hey, look, we can make the same thing he's making. This is what you're going to get. Because this product here can't read white light at all. Now, just to show you something really interesting, this right here we have, and this is the UV. Those are black paints. This is the UV mix. Now, the UV mix is a little lighter, a lot lighter than what we have here. These are actually pretty dark. We'll put the UV right here. That's the UV mix. Make sure we got it on the right side. Nope, on the wrong side. That one has to be on this side. Sorry about that. Because you got it marked on what side it is. That's the UV mix right there. UV mix comes up dark too. These products we have here are, let me get a little farther over because I don't want it flashing that one. Let's get that over here right by itself. All right, so these products right here being made with just a couple of tablespoons of white paint and the black paint, and then putting them next to the UV mix allowed us to see that, oh, this is how the product is made. The product is made in 2 ways you can go about it. If you did it in the reversal would save you a lot of paint, and you would have to drop a ton of black paint in there to get it that dark. If you didn't do the reversal, like the guy said in the video, when he made the darker mixed version, he said I had to put a lot of black paint into it in order to get it that dark, but he didn't know anything about a reversal. But you can see how dark it comes up. Now, let's see our product. Let's see how our product, now mind, we got the tested products right there. We have his, because that's the reason why we purchased his products to begin with, to bring them down here for testing. Because if you're going to make an accusation that our products are working this way, then guess what? And we do tons of demonstrations. Or we have tests done before the paint even sells on the market. So you're showing us that this is how our products are performing. We have customers displaying our products. We have companies displaying our products. No one's having any problems, but for some reason, when it comes into your environment, all these issues occur, but no one else is having these problems. So let's buy your product, bring it down here and see if it does what it does. Because we don't have it down here, we just have ours. So going to purchase the products from this individual, he cancels the orders, which means he was falsifying the demonstrations. Because these screens right here that we made out of everyday black and white paint are reacting the exact same way as the UV mix. If he had made any one of these products and claimed this to be our technology and said this is how his product is coming up on a white screen, this is how it would have been displayed. But here's the problem you're going to have. Phantoms can see white light. Yeah, phantoms can see white light. And not only can they see white light, but they can cancel the excess light that's going to be flashing all over your screen if you're using a white screen. Isn't that interesting? I'll give you a chance to soak all that in. This is how we knew he was mixing black paint into the products. We knew that from the door. Because these screens have an interesting signature attached to them. This is why containers were popping up and the labels on them and stuff like that. We knew they was falsifying demonstrations. But your UV mix alone matches these products we have up here. Even the one I just made on camera. We showed at the end of the day, when we made the UV mix, we made the UV mix in a reverse. We made it as in a black paint base first, and we dropped in 6 whites. So between what we're seeing here, the UV mix is pulling up a little brighter, but still it's still producing the same dirty white level, which tells me at the end of the day that nowhere near 1 we're ever going to match a Frankenstein. It would have to be somewhere between 6 and 9 to do it. And the reason why I can figure that out, because you don't have any test demonstration saying, hey, look, this is my product. We're going to make multiple screen paints here. We're going to do this test, and I'm going to show you it has nothing to do with our products, which I'm doing right now on my own products. Now, see, people get mad at me because when I come in here and I talk about this and talk about that, and they go, you're not fair. Well, this is about as fair I can get. I made that product right there in the middle of the demonstration, this extra dark one, and brought it downstairs and did a demonstration with the other ones. Tell me where I'm not being fair. So if he can't do this demonstration at the end of the day, well, you know it's in your paint. Let's get over here and let's get Now, I do believe that Crow did get our products. I do believe that. I think he did a test behind closed doors. I think he realized what he was up against, and he falsified the demonstration. Because either 2 ways it's going to come out. I mean, it's coming out here right now as it is. But in court, it's going to come out. Yeah, you're going to have to do this in court. I hope he knows that, right? My lawyers, I actually advised my lawyers to suggest that we do a paint-on demonstration in the courtroom. I like to back things up. And then he can explain to the judge and my attorneys why that screen's reacting that way. We're going to do the black paint too. And then they're going to match it to his videos and try to explain to him why is that screen showing up that way in your video demonstrations. You're going to have to be able to prove that our product does this. This is going to give you, it's going to be real hard for you, man. It's going to be real hard. We're not going to talk about that right now, but as you can see, this is how he's faking the demonstrations. If you mix black paint, and this is for anybody, we're not going to mention the guy's name. We call him Cookie Cutter. But Cookie Cutter, keep in mind that this is audio. You can't put black paint next to the screen because Phoenix or Phantoms are designed to pull insane white levels. So any screen that we watch on a demonstration, when that screen's coming too dark, we automatically know that you tampered with it. I even had an incident today where we had a customer who dropped something in the paint. We knew he put something in the paint. And we asked them, ship the container back to our house. We will basically go in, I'll give you a full refund. Ship the container back to my house. We'll test it out over here live on camera. He didn't want to ship the container back. I said, what's the problem? Just send the container back to the house. That's all you got to do. I'll pay for the shipping. I'll give you the money for the shipping. Just send it back to the house. He didn't want to send it. Well, you should see from the picture from here that, so it's, no, I want you to send it back to the house so we can have that container so we can paint it up and do the demonstration live. He fought me tooth and nail because he dropped something in that product that wasn't supposed to be in there. That's why. I'm asking you to ship it back here. Let's do a demonstration live. I'll do the unboxing and everything. And if that screen comes up the exact same way you showed, then I'll give you your money back. No problem. He didn't want to ship the container because of these test demonstrations. Now, keep in mind, if I've never did any of these test demonstrations to begin with, there is no way for me to back my product. If anybody wanted to drop black paint or do a black paint demonstration against my product, I couldn't back it up. Just like right now, he has no way to prove or back up that his product isn't basic black and white paint or a version of bare silver screen with black paint mixed into it. Now, you see the difference when I mean between night and day? Night and day. So this is what he has to do. He has to back it up. I don't think you should be doing reviews against anyone's products. I don't think you should be selling screen paint, period, until you can back this up to your customers. Because at the end of the day, you're fleecing them. You're not showing a difference. Let's get over here with the shiny pans. And they can't complain, oh, but you got, I remember I got complaints about using too much ambient light in the environment, literally, seriously. So you're developing ambient light rejection screens, but you're mad at me because I'm using too much light in the environment. How does that even work at the end of the day? But we got this in the dark. We got it in their environment. Now that looks a heck of a lot like the video demonstrations you do on our products. Well, that's what I believe. I believe that when Crow first got one of our products, I believe he got a couple of real ones over there. But I believe that he saw it behind closed doors and he figured out I couldn't put this on camera because there's just going to be an issue. Because this is what would have happened to you. And like I said, this whole making our products and posting the agreements, you feel you can make my products, you have my full permission. I'll make sure I'll tell my attorney, look, I gave him full permission to make it. Make it. Post the ingredients. I'll make it. I'll do a demonstration today. Let's get something else, okay? Don't have this problem for anybody else. He's the only person who makes these lies. Now, the thing I don't like about the whole, with the Fusion, you've seen that screen's not even anywhere near black. And if it was that small little sample sheet to the side, wow, I would not paint that literally on my screen at all. You'd wreck your screen altogether. As for those are saying, well, what about the lighter mixes? Again, we just covered that. You can make them yourself. Literally, you can honestly just make them yourself. Unless he can show you a demonstration of our mixes that we made over here, not matching what he has over there, and a huge difference between night and day, then you could honestly sit there and say, oh, no, they don't match at all. What else would you explain deleting a video that you had 27,000 hits on that showed you making a black and white product? So So as we can see right now in this demonstration, doing my own tests against my own products, against the UV mix and several different versions of a dark mix versus my technology, you can see that my screen pulls the highest white level. And of course, like I said, because these are tests we had to do. Now, I'm not calling him this, I'm not calling him that, I'm not calling him an idiot, no, I'm not calling him none of that at all. I'm doing this on a professional level, testing out his products. You can't get upset over this. Like I said, this is something they should have did a long time ago. I mean, come on, you guys watch me come on here and you watch me bring a screen out that we just developed an hour ago. What's the first thing I do? Oh, we got to put this against high performance sample sheets. We got to do the color pattern test. We got to do the contrast. We got to do the lights on. First thing when the screen's developed, that's the first thing you see me do. At a screen that's 1%. So how come they can't do it? So how do you know what you're buying at the end of the day? How do you know what you really have up on top of your screen right there? We don't have calibrated projectors over here. We don't do that. That's another thing too. I'm definitely against the calibrated projector, and I'll tell you why. If you're doing a demonstration where you're testing your products and you're using a projector that's calibrated, that's considered to be cheating. Your projector should never be calibrated. Not like it's going to do a world of good because it's not going to do jack. You're not going to really improve, because if you could improve, you would pretty much be able to have do demonstrations that we do on our levels. You wouldn't have any problems at all. Your screens would be washing and faded out. Like I said, the guy did the same demonstration. Who did the demonstration? He did the same demonstration with the black and white, but silver in his, and his didn't put any glitter, but silver in his. Same demonstration. He had a high-end high-power projector, pulled the exact same image. All right, so here we are right there. That shows you right there that no black paint, none of that stuff matches our screen whatsoever. Let's go over to let me see. We'll take his down because at the end of the day, it is what it is. That product right there is just basically, yeah, that product right there is basically just, it's black and white paint. As I told you before, that's what you're buying. And until you can back it up, that's what it's going to come down to. Let's go with LG snowboarding.
Getting that from YouTube.
And at the end of the day, like I said, I don't mind the dislikes. Go ahead, dislike away. Don't care. Because it is what it is. The only people that dislike on videos like this are people that support him and that are upset because they're being outed. These are the same individuals that go into his channel and talk about how it's this and how it's that, knowing that he's fleecing people, knowing that he's stealing from people, and you support it. And he is stealing from people. It's black and white paint. If that product is not properly tested, if it hasn't been done under white level tests, if it's not a true black screen, number one, if you're buying a screen and it's not a true black screen, that's another way you're just stealing from you. And number two, if it's not a proper white level behind the back of that screen, then the problem you're going to have is you're basically getting fleeced. Because at the end of the day, you could be buying just black paint. That's what you could literally be getting, or black paint with just a little bit of white in it. TCL 4K demonstrations.
Getting that from YouTube.
See the color of that Lamborghini in the background? That's how your screen's supposed to look. There you go. That's how your screen, that black spot that you see, no, that's how your screen's supposed to pick up. It's supposed to be clean. That means that black screen's supposed to be to read white light. And my projector's 4,000 lumens, so there's no excuse for it. At 4,000 lumens, if a screen made of that mixture can't pick up white light, it's not going to pick up jack. Look at the white screen here. Watch how the white screen doesn't even pick up an image until our screen passes over top of it. And watch the black screens, how they come up dark on the car and dark on their fabric. How our screen turns it to white, natural colors. This is how we test our technology. It's nothing new to basically make different forms of mixtures and put it against the screen. Like I said, at the end of the day, that's one of the things I have to do when it comes to any form of technology we develop. We have to see how close or someone can come to basically trying to match one of the screens. All right, so let's bring this up. Let's get these out of the way because we've already proven what our technology can do. I even switched over to some color for you. When people do stuff like that, like I said, at the end of the day, you got to understand, people do stuff like this. And it's in business. I've been in business over 12 years. People do business. They do stuff like this. Because one of the things, it's basically either jealousy or it's fear. It could be just both at the end of the day. That's what it comes down to. Jealousy or fear. Because they can't do it themselves, or I don't know if they don't want to work as hard. I don't know what it is. But it comes down to jealousy and fear. And they're probably expecting if they do this demonstration, you know, no one's going to back up their product. They're not backing up their product. They're not expecting for you to back up your product. And they're not expecting that at all, period. Now, I didn't think, now you're going to back it up. You know, especially when it comes to having a screen that's black. I'm pretty sure he probably sat up there and thought to himself, well, you know, this is a screen that nobody's going to know. I mean, I can go up there and I can put black paint in there. No one will be able to tell the difference between his paint and what I got here from Home Depot. I'm pretty sure he was sitting at Home Depot or Lowe's smiling from ear to ear like the Grinch and figured out how to steal Whoville with that evil grin, thinking that, if I could do this fake demonstration, nobody will know. Yeah, Jamie, we'll know. You know why? Because our screens are tested. We can take any kind of black paint, whatever you want, throw it against the screen, and on a white screen behind the back of it, and but still produce a higher white level. Why going against a white screen at the same time? Think about that. So we can make any product, do it on camera, show you how we make it, and put it against a white screen. Not only are we going battle with the white screen on white levels, but we're doing it against the darker products at the same time because we test our products. Unlike you, on the other hand, they don't test your products. This is a Digital One crystal screen. This was made 7 years ago under our company, under Digital One crystal screen paint. Sat there and told you that at the end of the day, no screen, it's not going to be the same complexion as white can pull white level. That's another lie he told. One of his screen paints can basically pull white level equal to a white screen. Lie. Virtually impossible. The only thing that can produce a white level next to a white screen, the screen is going to have to be physically white or seriously near white. That's your Metallica mix 2.0. Look at them side by side. One's 7 years old. One's another one that basically is a recent screen that you've been selling to your customers. This is your personal mix. Right here. They both pull up the same core white level. The only screen that can match a white screen at the end of the day is a white screen. So let's see. The color, white. Let's see how well they all match. I don't know why they don't bounce money use for it. Then just ask for the color white, literally. There you go. See? So at the end of the day, if somebody tells you that their gray screen paint product, because even I know that's a lie, if their gray screen paint products can pull a white level equal to a white screen, barefaced lie. Impossible. The only screen that can pull a white level next to a white screen would have to be the it's not, and people think it's that it's called the Linksy or Linguini or whatever. I'm sorry if I say the name incorrectly, no disrespect. I just call it the Lux, all right, because I can't pronounce it correctly. That screen can't pull up a white level equal to a white screen. Now, I heard a fellow on YouTube say that, yes, it's equal to a white screen. It is not equal to a white screen. I got a 60-inch of it over there for testing right here. Now, it's lighter than the rest of the screens. Yes, it is. That it is. But can it pull up a white level equal to a white screen? No, that's not going to happen. We have it right there on the big display right there, as you can see. Next to our Crystal Age or Digital One Crystal Screen Paint comes pretty close to that screen. Actually, it does. It does match their screen. A lot of you not. It's matching this. I'm curious. Now we got to do something on that now. Just out of curiosity. Just out of curiosity. We don't make Digital One Crystal Screen Paint anymore. But anyway, just out of curiosity. So if you look at it side by side, none of these screens are point equal to a white screen. That's virtually impossible. So if he sits there and tells you, oh, it can't, no, it'd have to be almost near white and still would have come up with a little darkness to the screen. But as you can see, my Digital One Crystal Screen Paint product that I made here, right here, easily. Same black and white surface, except for mine screen has gold in it, has gold glitter in it, and it has silver. Can you see any difference between the other screen paint products? These are the ones that have black and white, and that one right there has silver in it. Can you see where there's a difference? Not really. But that one right there, I have to look at that again. All right, let's go with red screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Now look at the red levels. All look the same to me. Let's see what happens when we bring down our technology. There you go. That's what I tell y'all. Our technology is unmatched. There's no gray screen out there that can produce the same contrast and color as a screen. Our screen can maintain incredible white levels easily to be able to blend in, or basically, not overpowered, I would say blend in with some of these gray screens out there on the market. And then when you do it with these black screen paint products that are not even properly tested, right, they can't even pull up an equal white level next to our technology. So the only options you have, pretty much, is us. Because you can go out and spend $5,000 and $6,000 for a projection screen that our screen already beat already, or you can go out and spend money for these screen paint products that don't do exactly what they're supposed to do. I'm not saying all the rest of them. The rest of them say what they say, but this one individual. That's what you have at the end of the day. Blue screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
There you go. We ain't even had the lights on yet. Imagine we trigger the lights on in this place. They'll fade even faster. I'm interested now, because I've never tested anything about the digital crystal screen paints were never really tested. At that particular time and era, we didn't really test stuff like that. Purple screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Let me just say purple. Here we go. Slow color change out.
Getting that from YouTube.
All the meats, all the cheeses. Make it an all Aldi holiday. It's Walmart's Black Friday deals for days. Score $30 Lego sets and get other huge deals all week long.
So how do you have a black screen here whose white levels are literally so high that it's maintaining? It's not washing out, it's not fading, it's maintaining this color with no problem. Bright and beautiful, dark. This is where you got to be at in order to get your colors pulled up somewhat correctly. And if you have any light in the environment, well, these screens are not ambient light rejection technology. They don't have it in them to begin with. They can't pick up. So in order for you to get your colors and contrast to somewhat come off to a decent level, you're going to have to be in a dark environment, which I just displayed a few minutes ago. Can't be in a fully lit environment. Your colors won't pick up. That's why when I watch demonstrations on these great screen paint products or other great screens, and I look at the screen, I'm like, they're not even picking up proper color. You got to calibrate a projector and still the color is not being picked up properly. My meter just dropped off. Just dropped off. Which means I told you two things happen in this environment. Either we get 18, 19, or the meters don't show. Because that much light's pushing in here. So, screen paint products, just done picking up nothing at all at the end of the day. Starfield screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
How does she listen down here, but she don't listen upstairs? I don't get it. Can't pick up contrast either, because you can't see it either. So it's virtually impossible for a Cinemax to claim that it can see a contrast level at the end of the day, when bottom line is you have a screen paint that was much, much lighter than the UV mix, was picking up a much better contrast level. Which shows that doesn't even work correctly. And the product that was picking up the better contrast level, it's not even black, which was claimed to be black in the demonstration. Not even close. It even matched the speakers in the environment. I don't know, man. That's what y'all got to deal with at the end of the day. And like I said, you know, if he wants to say it's personal, it's not personal. These are test demonstrations that you should have been doing from the door. If he wants to cry and whine about, oh, no, it's not an attack. It's something you should have been doing. When you did that demonstration with the bare silver screen, even I could see how you cheated the daylights out of that test. You cheated the daylights out of it. How are you going to paint a screen? Even the surface you were painting on was darker than the physical screen that you were painting. So how can you sit there and say that, oh, my screen's going to pull a slightly higher contrast level? Yeah, because your screen's darker. It's like if I take a white screen and I take one of these gray screens and I say, look, there's a difference. Of course there's going to be a difference. But on these demonstrations, I don't have to stand up on top of the screen to show the difference. You literally had to sit right up on top of the screen. I just find it interesting. People don't want to do their tests, and then at the end of the day, they want to get mad because they don't want to do their tests. But like I said, if I'm wrong in the demonstration that I just did, he can go over to his channel. He can I'll put the ingredients at the bottom. He can basically make it himself. It's very easy, and see if they match. Me, on the other hand, I have to do demonstrations on my products versus black paint. all the time. But I'm curious about that Linksy screen. So I'm going with the Lux. The Lux with the lights out look like really close to the digital because of screen paint, but I'm not even going to match that up. These people are making their money or whatever. It probably doesn't even match in any way whatsoever. I'll just leave it at that. It doesn't match anyway. I really don't care about that at the end of the day. We're just showing you exactly what you're getting from screen paint products. But as I said before, the comment that was made about that screen on the far end, being able to pick up a white level next to equal to a white screen, not true. That's not going to happen. It's a very high silver screen, that it is. We'll see contrast? No. We'll see color? No. Won't see any of that. You won't see any of that at all, period. It won't pick up any of that. Not next to black technology, it's not going to pick up. And these are the colors we have here, so you can see the different colors we have, the different shades we got out of each mix we made to put against our screen. And they came in different shades. I'm going to show you something right here real quick. Let's do a color test real quick on these alone. We don't have to have our screen in the equation because we already saw what our screen can do. Let's do these alone. We're going to take the black paint, which we have here, and we're going to put this against, we're going to do color tests and see exactly which one pulls up better on screen paint. Well, these untested versus untested. Well, this digital one was never really tested at the end of the day. Because like I said, at that particular time, when we made the digital one, pretty much the only thing that had to do was pull up an image in a room with one lamp. That's it, because everybody else was doing demonstrations in the dark. Okay, and I think on this one, okay. I think I got from working from. Okay. All right, let's see what we get. Be quiet, cut it out. I know it's 6 o'clock, you're about to get your treat. Calm down. Oh shoot, it's 6 o'clock. Guys, I'll be right back. Take trash out. Stay out of there. trash out real quick because I need that spot for the inflatable screen demonstration today. I gotta pick up those ladders. Now let me see. Okay, I carry nothing upstairs, that's good. Right, perfect. I need that set up for today. Got the inflatable screen is doing the gunmetal today on the Phantom. I'm going to have that outside today for demonstrations. Red screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
There you go. I thought so. That's what you run into. So, as I said before, Theory was right. You put too much black paint into the mix, number one, your white levels are going to start to drop, which means you can't see color. This is on a white screen test. We're not putting our screen in the test because there's no point. It's going to outperform. We're showing you basically what you're actually getting. So this is what you should be seeing in these demonstrations with his particular product. Because like I said, nobody else goes in and makes false accusations except for him. So this is what you should be seeing. So what happens is, say, if the product's too dark, you put too much black paint into it, the white levels are going to suffer. You can't see red, you can't see color, you can't see white levels, but you can pick up contrast, yeah, that you can. If you have not enough black paint into it, and you're basically trying to get your, even with some white levels in there, you still can't see color. That's not going to pop up, your color's washed out, but your contrast is completely gone. Now mind you, that is in the middle right there, you see next to the black screen, that's the Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, that's our product. The two screens next to him would be the Metallica and Personal. As you can see, they're doing the exact same thing our screen is doing from 7 years back. Exact same thing, there's no difference. So in order for him to prove today that his product is different and he's selling a completely different product, he'd have to be performing these tests. Is this your first time you've seen tests done on this level, then it tells you right there. If he's been selling that product for that long and you're just now seeing these tests, there's a major, huge red flag. You know, like I said, feel free to ask me to test my product against black paint. I got no problem with that. You want to make some mixes, some dark mixes? I ain't got a problem with that either. I can show you the difference. Question is, can he? Blue screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
So I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, you don't want to be stuck in a dark environment like this basement tonight. You want your living room to look like that? I mean, I'm not saying your dedicated theater room and all that, yeah, but your living room, you want your living room literally looking like that. If this screen can't pick up on it, it's that black paint, yeah, that they make over there, it's definitely going to pick up on ultra short throw. That's definitely going to happen. But this is the only way you're going to be able to maintain any kind of proper color off these are light paints. You're going to have to be in the dark to do it. And he kind of proved that when he did the demonstration with the Cinemax versus that not even black paint. In order for the second demonstration he did with the P2, he had it in the dark. That's where you're going to have to be at. And that's bad. That's really, really bad. We get a screen now that comes in here and it comes up under that particular shade. We know there's problems with it. Let's take the now, so the UV mix should do a little bit better because, like I said, it's lighter. But we can tell, bottom line is how it's made. So there's the UV mix right there. It's still going to pull a level that's too dark, but not as dark as the screen we have here now. The screen we have on the far end is 1 tablespoon of white paint and the black paint. So the object of trying to make a either gunmetal screen or dark screen. Gunmetal screens, the darker the gunmetal, close to black. It has to be close to black as possible, but it still has to maintain the white levels. What you've seen with the screen we have upstairs with the Phantom gunmetal screen, that screen produces a white level that's literally so freaking high. We have to take the projector and we have to turn it all the way down to -7 in order to adjust the screen because that thing produces that much white light. We're in here, we're not having that problem. That's something to think about. There you go. This is what you should have been seeing from the door. Yellow screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Gray screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Skyworth, food demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
That's pretty bad. It's really bad. Yes, that's pretty bad. That is really bad. Those screen paints come with that. That's an untested. I can tell from the door. We bring them up there. On this screen right here, and we put you against this screen, and we put you against this white surface behind us, and you come up like any one of those screens, we already know your product wasn't tested. That's why now you understand why we got so many cancellations. This is why it's been canceling screens from way back from 2019 to now. That's why. You think what happened if this product comes down here? It's not going to pass. There's no way in which you've seen a test we put our screens under. You watch me test my own screens on camera, make the product, show you how to make it, and throw it against our screens. You think I got any fear in the back of my head, like, oh, if I show them how to make this product, they can make that product and not buy my screen paint. I know at the end of the day, you're not going to match the screen because it's been tested. That's why I can do it live. Yeah, I'll show you how to make the product if you want. Keep in mind, disclaimer, I'm not responsible for you destroying your screen at the end of the day, but I'll show you how to make the product and put it against my own screen and watch my own screen destroy it. He can't do that. Because right now, his product is sitting there matching a 7-year-old screen paint. Mind you, this screen paint has glitter and it has silver in it. It has extra perks to it. Let's show you something even more. All right. So we know none of these pick up proper yellow or colors and what like this. We'll take this down. We'll take down the digital because of screen paint. We'll take down the black screen. If these are properly tested against, like I said, they're properly tested against a white screen. If a person's developing a screen, like say if I'm developing a black screen, and bottom line is why I have black screens, and say we do a black on black test. Say that black on black test where the black paint pulls a higher white level than my screen. You know what that tells me? I need to go back and fix it. So that means go back to the shop, figure out what we did wrong, fix it out, figure out how to get the other screen to produce the higher white level. But if I launch that product and never testing it, there you go. Let's do this right here. This right here is this giant sample sheet here is the personal mix. This is a personal mix that we made that has the personal mix that has that's the personal mix that has 4 tablespoons of white paint, and I'm sorry, 2 white paint, a quarter white paint, and 4 tablespoons of black. We did it first starting off with 2, we did it at 3, and we did it at 4. 4 locked. Now, like I said, easy to figure out. You know why? The bare silver screen test that he did. That's where he messed up. Because everybody knows if you ever had bare silver screen, it is light. It is a very, very light product. If you put that against any screen that has a tint of black in it, any screen that has a tint of black is going to produce the better contrast level. So if he did the demonstration correctly, he should have did several different containers, and he should have put a different measure of each black paint, each one, put that against the screen and see if they had matched. It would have matched. If you put two in there, it would have matched. That's why I said there's no point for us to buy the Cinemax. Why would I buy it? The whole purpose of us doing tests against Cinemax was to see whether or not it basically supported the claim that that screen could physically pull a contrast level equal to a black screen. But since I saw that other screen paint that wasn't even near black, not even the same color as the UV, pull a way better contrast level and better color than the Cinemax, there's no point in buying it. He proved my point already. Didn't need a black screen to do it. Why buy the personal mix? We have it right here. There's no point in me buying it. Now I'm going to use the same beat up sample sheet we have right there, how we've been using. We're not going to say, oh, we can't take his product, even though we can make the product down here. To be fair and honest, we're not going to sit there and make like 5 gallons of it and put it into a container, slap his label on and say, hey, here's this product. We don't do business that way. We don't. We will buy your product. We will show a receipt from your product of purchasing your product, and we will do an unboxing as we should be doing, displaying the labels. That's how it should be done. But at the end of the day, I really don't have to. At the end of the day, I can just make the product and basically just paint it, because at the end of the day, it is your product. It does match your screen correctly. Red screen. But that's not the way to do it. Red screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
See? Matches in the color pattern. Perfectly. So these are tests you should have done. So like I said, yeah. Next time you want to do a test against Phoenix, do me a favor. Take some black paint, throw it against that screen, see if it matches. Next time you're doing this demonstrations. As a matter of fact, do a pour out and see if they both match. And then go out and match that screen against a black screen. So we have put on a white level. Because if that screen doesn't produce a higher white level than that black screen, we know at the end of the day, they're both black paint. Because we do these tests against our own screens. Let's go over to TCL 4K demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
And for those you want to sit there and say, well, it's not different, Ken, because you're in the lights, you have the lights on. The fact that you have to think about that is not fair because the lights are on, is pretty sad. Because that shows that you're going to be in the dark. And that's how you have to enjoy your screens. So I guess the football game comes on, let's put some blackout curtains, let's darken the environment, and let's program the GPS so we can know where the coffee table's at, so when we get up to get something to drink, we don't end up banging our kneecaps on it. That's pretty much it, right? I can read a book and look out the window and watch the birds with my technology. Because that's what it ends up to be. Let's go take our lights out, take the fair. All right? Let's see if there's a difference in the product we have here with the lights out, okay? Let's see if we got a difference in the screen. Now you can't see a screen at all. Right? You asked. This is what I'm showing you right from the door, what you're getting. Now, like I said, if I'm wrong in this demonstration, he has time today to back it up. And if anybody else made a false accusation, like say somebody came out of nowhere We don't know. Did a false accusation. That's their business. But when you start sticking my name in there, trying to use my company as a way of basically trying to springboard or trying to get some notification of what I do, I'm going to dig into your box. And you better pray that your tests are done correctly. Because if they're not, and we get our hands on it, you're not going to like the outcome of it. As for Cookie Cutter, we're making your product again. He posted how to make the product. So we're going to post that product again. We're going to put it against a Black Phantom. White level test only. Because that screen failed against the 8. Couldn't pull a white level next to an 8. And a Phantom is darker than 8. Pulls a higher white level. Because if there's any black paint, and there is because we know how to make it. If there's any black paint in that product, you automatically lost. All right, so right there, you're seeing the screen right there. All right, let's take the Digital One Crystal screen paint from 7 years ago. Now this product right here has silver in it. Can you see the difference between both screens? One screen paint, the big screen you're seeing right now, is made with just black and white paint. It's made with 4 tablespoons of black paint into a quart of white paint. The other one is the original. That's the original one we purchased from Crow, which is a personal mix. The one you're seeing on this end is a Digital One Crystal screen paint. It has silver in it. These have black and white. This one has silver in it. Can you see the difference? At the end of the day, I told you, you could drop silver in there if you want. It's not, you're not going to see it. The only thing you're going to see is probably the glitter. That's basically about it. At the end of the day, we can honestly say you were copying our work. But that'd be virtually impossible because at the end of the day, he wouldn't know what was in it. So we can't say that either. But we can say that this product is matching a 7-year-old product and a basic 4 tablespoons of black paint into white paint mixture. QLED. OLED demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
This is the black paint. So at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, they don't match her products, as it said in the title of the video, which I didn't chance to finish it, but in the title of the video, no, they don't match her products in no way whatsoever. Black screens don't produce high enough white levels, can't match our colors because our colors are too bright. The gray screens can't match our screens because they can't pick up a contrast and the colors wash out. They don't match us in any way whatsoever. And look at the black paint. You can put black paint against your product and beat it. The only difference is see how it's having the same reaction as the screen paint he showed in his demonstration, which this was much darker. It doesn't pick up the white levels all that well. When it comes to color, it picks up much better color. That is the one we did out of, let me see. We did, actually, I think the one has 5.
Can you try to take something? How much are you?
So let's see where black paint comes up next to his product. And mind you, my product's up there too. The Digital Crystal screen paint sitting right up there too. I don't know what's more disturbing. Black screens having issues, but we already know that's going to happen. But it's more disturbing that the fact that your product is matching a 7-year-old screen paint and a product we made out of 4 tablespoons of black. That's really bad. And at the end of the day, like I said, that's what you're getting. That's what you're getting. I gotta get ready to get finished. I gotta get set up for my inflatable screen and finish my work down here. As I said before, you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, this is what you're really getting. So unless he can basically prove that his products do anything differently, it's black and white paint at the end of the day. That's what you bought. Black and white paint. $4K Snow screensavers.
Getting that from YouTube.
This is that's the personal mix that we were able to match. This is the Metallica mix right here. This one is no longer selling anymore on the website due to the fact that it became a free product. Due to the fact that it was found that he had a video making a free product. That right there is the UV mix right there. Just about every last one of the screens blended, except for the UV mix didn't blend. So the big screen you're seeing is the product that we made, making the 4 tablespoons of black into white paint. No glitter, no silver. The screen you're seeing here, which you can't see that blended into the screen perfectly, is Digital One Crystal screen paint. That's made with glitter and silver. That has silver in it. So there's silver in that product. I told you, at the end of the day, doesn't make a difference if you drop silver in there, you're not going to be able to see it at all. So some people think in the back of their mind, if they put silver in it, they can make, no, you can't. Silver's not going to do any good. It's going to get over clouded. The minute you drop that bear into it, the minute you drop that black into it, boom, that's gone. So can you see the difference between the one with the silver and the one without the silver? You can see the UV because the UV can't see white light. There you go. And this screen's jet black. Not gray, jet black. Lighter than any of the surfaces we have down there. Even the UV can't even match this screen because the UV is gray. This screen's black. Well, people, that's basically about it for me. I couldn't explain it anymore. The reason why my demonstrations, I thought about that a few days ago, like my demonstrations are extremely long, but there's so much you're not being told. It's incredible how much you're not being told, how much they're hiding from you. It's sad. It's your money at the end of the day you're spending and you don't even know what you're even getting at the end of the day. That's what makes it so sad. That's why my demonstrations, there's so much I want to show you. I wish these demonstrations could go on there. There's so much you don't know that they're never going to tell you. They're just telling you is a whole bunch of bullcrap protocol nonsense. And at the end of the day, you're getting fleeced. I mean, the ambient light projection screens, the certified screens, what about them? At the end of the day, you can't call yourself ambient light projection if you're in a controlled ambient light environment. It doesn't work that way. That's like saying you got big 4x4 tires, but you can't ride on sand. You can only drive on pavements. That doesn't make any sense. Either you are or you aren't. They have their protocols too. Ambient light controlled environments, aka can't be used in a fully lit environment. Ultra short throw compatible. You know what I mean? Someone has some screens that have to be ultra short throw only, so you can't have both. Because narrow viewing cones, there's a whole concept they have that basically they have for protocols. The narrow viewing cone, pretty much they have where your projector has to be in line with the screen. So you have to have it mounted to the ceiling, it has to be in line with the screen. Because if it shifts to the left or the right, you're going to get those little black edges around your screen. Not saying all of them do it, but some do it. Calibrating your projector. Why are you calibrating your projector in this day and time? Now, I could see back then before we even had any of this technology and all screens were white. Yeah, you had to calibrate your screen. You had a white screen. But with the technology we have today, you're going to go out and spend $4,000 for a projector to sit there to calibrate it because you're trying to get your colors correct? And yet I can get a projector that's outdated from 2014, set it on the floor, and I can pull better colors than your $5,000 projection screen? Are you kidding me? Yeah, this is what they tell you, and they've been feeding the same information, ABS forms, all of them. If you want to optimize your viewing pleasure, you got to be this far from the screen, you got to be this, that, and the other, you got to have it calibrated, you got to have it in line with the projector, you know, blah, blah, bibbidi, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. Same thing, these gray screen paints and some of these products. We're not saying these other individuals, they sometimes may practice the same protocol, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they're not feeding you a bunch of nonsense by saying that their gray screens can pull contrast level equal to a black screen when in a video they just displayed clearly showed a screen that wasn't even black pulled a better level than the screen that was claiming that could do so. Black screen paints and projection screens, yeah, are different in some ways, but our tests are much different because at the end of the day, you should be seeing this. What's the difference between your product and bare silver screen? What's the difference between your product and gray paint? What's the difference between your product and bullseye primer? You need to see this. And if they're not showing you this, at the end of the day, you could be buying that, a $23 or $40 can of paint that you probably paid $100 for. Saving you hundreds ain't saving you jack. He's stealing hundreds from you. Because if I can sit there and mimic 3 screens, not mimic, actually make 3 of his screens out of $40 worth of paint. And I'm not talking about just doing all light paints. We switched over to a dark paint too and made that one too. That's a big red flag. That's your red flag right there at the end of the day. Let's bring the screen back up. La-di-da-di-da. I love showing these customers these demonstrations. Like, what's the difference between your product and black paint? Here you go. So here right there, you're looking at a product right there that's 7 years old. That's a Digital One crystal screen paint. We showed you how to make it. I put the video down how I made my first screen paint. The large screen you're seeing over here, the big screen, that's the product we made with 4 tablespoons of black paint. The product you're seeing right there that has the broken trim around it, the older surface, that right there is Crow's Personal Mix. The screen on the far end, if you can see it, if it's not blended in, not the darker one on the far end, that's a Metallica Mix 2.0. The screen in the center, that right there is the UV Mix. But some people don't pick up on it. When he opened up his containers and I was looking, I was like, they're only a shade off. Yep. Now in this one, we can get right up on top of the screen. He was like, what? Yeah, you can, there's no difference. All right, so pretty much we already figured that one already. As I say, it's so much you're not seeing. There's so much you're not seeing. Cut corners every chance they get. I look forward to seeing the black and white test demonstration today. I do. I wonder if it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I doubt he's going to go out there and do it. Now, for those who think you're saying, oh, you're picking on him. No, I'm not picking on him. He should have these tests done. These tests need to be done. If we have to do it, then why don't everybody else have to do it? When we don't do it, put it this way, when we don't do these demonstrations, it's considered to be fraud and we're scammers. When they don't do it and they cry and complain and we tell them they have to do it, they're Karens overnight. Okay then. If I can back my product up, guess what? They got to back theirs up too. I told you, man, if they had made me head of giving screens, if I was in charge of what screens got certified, yeah, you see little screens on the market, you really would. Because it'd be hard to pass my standards. It really would. It really would. If a screen came out and got one of our seals, it would be one of the best screens you ever saw. Bar none, I guarantee you. Not this stuff. It'd be the hardest thing you ever seen. Like, wow, that screen's incredible. Yeah, it's supposed to work for it. TCL 4K demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
You have to work for it. That's all to it. So, they're mad at us. Well, like I said, they want to accuse us as being this, that, and the other. They want to accuse us as being scammers. Whatever. This is what they want to do. You know why? Because they don't want to work hard for it. They don't want to do the test. I saw the final test under the Metallica. Are you kidding me? That was a final test? So your final test was a screen being in a poorly lit environment? That's a final test? Final test for our screen is 13 feet outside on 1,000 lumens. Yesterday, we just displayed a Phoenix outside at 451. Do you understand that? 451 outside. Usually screens are generated to fire up at 6. 451 at 150 inches. Mind you, the bigger the screen, the more ambient light's going to make contact with that screen. There's no walls out there. There's no ceilings. There's nothing out there. That screen has to endure all that ambient light at 27 feet back from the screen. At 4,000 lumens, it's not going to mean jack if you're hitting a screen at 451 in the evening. It is no longer 4,000 lumens by the time it makes contact to a screen that's 150 inches, that's taking in a ton of ambient light at the same time, and still can generate a white snowstorm so bright at a 190-degree viewing angle, it looks like a TV. That's what you got to be to do, to back your products. That's how hard it is to pull off black technology. Inside, cakewalk. Outside, another story. You have to do demonstrations like that because at the end of the day, when I make my products, I have customers that are working hard every day to make their money, and they want the best that they can give. And if I'm definitely going to be walking around in my house using these screens 24/7, they got to be the best. And that doesn't make any sense for it to match like that. It shouldn't be matching at all. There should be a difference. Because at the end of the day, this is what it tells me. Whoever paid for this paint, you just paid $107 for a product that you could have literally made at $40 a gallon. The UV mix tells me it was never tested on white levels. That's why it's struggling. And like I said, if I'm wrong, and I will come on camera and apologize if I'm wrong, if you can make the combination of mixes, even if you make that black and white mix, match it against your product. And how I know I'm 100% right, because like I said, the bare silver screen, if he had dropped in 3 tablespoons, even 2 tablespoons of black, it'd have matched the screen perfectly. If he doesn't do the demonstration, well, you know what you got. You know what you paid for. Just like if he came at me and said, hey, this product's not my black paint. If I don't do the demonstration, if I reply back to him with middle fingers and I do some demonstration that has nothing to do with the demonstration, or I go on a little vacation, or I do some interview about toys, then that means my product is black paint. But if I can come out here and show you black paint against my screen, and I can show you different combinations that we can make out of different versions of black paint, and prove you wrong and show a higher white level, and show a difference, then guess what? My product's not black paint. There you go. Like I said, if it was anybody else that was doing this dumb nonsense at the end of the day, like I said, with them doing it to themselves, I don't care. All right, that's your business. But you want to stick my name into it and use me as some kind of, I don't know, springboard to boost your stuff? No, in the end, it's going to come back to bite you in the face pretty bad. So now today, he's got a choice. He's going to have to make those mixtures. He's going to put against his product. He's going to have to do solid reds, blues, and greens. No mixed colors under that. He's going to have the fully lit environment. He's going to show the same fully lit environment with meter tests. My meters in here are 1800 in here. You're going to show all that. No cookie cutter screen. It's going to be on a big screen. Do it right there in your living room. Paint yourself a big screen right down the middle with all the different screen paints we just made in here. I'll put the ingredients at the bottom. Show us there's a difference between your product and everyday paint. I don't want to see bare silver screen by itself. I want to see you add stuff to it. Because that's what I did in my demonstrations. I'll add stuff into the paint. Nope. There you go. Don't match. Now, if he doesn't do it, then he doesn't do it. If he replies back with a Q&A, then he can't do it. At the end of the day, you know what you bought. Red screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
All right, so just to recap real quick, because, you know, I like to make sure we cover everything before we get out of here, because I got demonstrations today. I got the gunmetal screen to test off today. I'm going to test on that, as I said before. Ooh, man, I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, man, you only got two choices. You can buy it from somebody that doesn't test this product, and at the end of the day, you're probably getting fleeced, or you definitely are getting fleeced. Or bottom line is you deal with a $5,000, $6,000 projection screen that we've already taken out already, and then you have our product, which is tested. Every time I do a demonstration on my screens, you know my screens are constantly tested. Going outside and doing screens at 150 inches, 180 inches, 160 inches, 140 inches, you name it, we've done it. My screens are always tested. All right, so let's go back to this real quick. When we first started off, I told you, I'm not going to do a demonstration against someone else's product without doing one against myself. I told you we made several different versions of black paint. Some with a little bit more white, some with a little more less white. Again, like I said, you got to try to keep it in the range of basically being black. You put too much white paint in there, it tilts over into gray, you have gunmetal now. And even with gunmetal, you're still going to have to be to produce that white level. Anytime you do a black screen, this is for Crow to understand this, so you can see how this is done. This is how we have to do it. Anytime that you develop a black screen paint, well, he didn't have a black one, but if you ever develop one that dark, you have to do a white level test, and you have to do a black on black test, which means you have to pour out the paint next to another container of that same liquid, and both of them have to come up as black. The reason why they do is because some people may try to pass a gray screen off as a black screen to pull higher white levels. You can't do that. So we do that all the time. We have to go through that little test. What's some other surface there? Another surface on here too. Another dark surface? I know we got one here. We got three of them in here. Is one on the floor? Yeah, where's the other one at? So we have to do that test right from the door. I have another black surface in here. I can't seem to track it down. It's funny trying to find a black surface while we're in. Oh, here, I found it. All right, so we had these made in different shades. Some with more, some with less. Some have 5, some have 2, and one has 1. That means black paint into white paint. All right. Now, when we test off on our screens, we test our white levels. Because any black surface can pull contrast. The problem you're going to have is, can the screen see color? No, sorry, not color, white levels. Where's the fire stick at? No! Oh, I'm going to lose it in this place. All right, so let's start off real quick. My personal favorite, Skyworth food demonstration. Did I just do that like an AT&T bar, like right down the side? I did do it now. I did. I done did it. So this is what we requested from the individual when claiming that he could pull off and make a black screen. You can't just go on YouTube and mix some black stuff together and say, oh look, I just made a black screen. Excuse me. You gotta show white levels, buddy. It's not that. You don't get away with that. See, the same way you cut corners on these gray screen paints, now you try to do it on a black screen. This is where you made your mistake. So you had to test white levels, which means you have to have a white background and you have to display white levels to show exactly which one's going to pull the highest white level. This is probably ran into the UV. The UV mix came up crazy dark because it was never tested on a white screen. It was probably tested standalone by itself with nothing to compare it to, because usually that's how it's done. So just to show you how close the UV comes to the screen paints that we made, this is the UV mix right here. That's how close the UV mix comes to a screen made out of a black and white paint. Black base being first. Skyworth food demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
Now this is testing against my own products. Just like when I did the demonstration, showing the gray screen paint mixtures that we made out of black and white paint, matching your product perfectly. Digital and crystal screen paint made from 7 years ago, made completely different from your product, still matching your product the same. And here I am doing a demonstration on my black screen versus other black mixes that we made. We made some with 5, we made some with 3, we made one with 1. Because if we make them too much white paint, then what's going to happen is they start reaching over to gray screens, and that doesn't make it technically a black screen. It doesn't make it a black screen now, to tell you the truth, at the end of the day. And we've also done this on black paint. And then we had the UV mix being the lightest one there. So let's see if our screen will do the exact same thing that these screens are doing. Or will it produce a higher white level? Well, see if I can come in and do this demonstration with no problem whatsoever. If anyone were to ask me to do this, I can do this. Now, it was interesting because we were doing a demonstration on one of the black screens, and I was showing my black screens against white screens. And in the demonstration, the live demonstration, I was requested by this individual to turn my screen around to the black side of it and to show off if it was matching, because in his mind, he thought, oh, I got him in this demonstration. If he turns the screen around, he shows the vinyl side of it all. It's going to show that they're both the same thing. That was a lot of crow pie you ate that day. That was a lot of crow pie. I hope you had enough milk in the refrigerator, because again, at the end of the day, we test our products. Well, you think I would have tested vinyl too? So I flipped the screen around and it came up dark, and our screen came up bright white. We're not you. We test our products. You gotta know the difference between night and day. Now, mind you, these screen paints we have here have white in them. So they would be able to produce a little bit, maybe a little bit of a white level. What do you think would happen if we put black paint in something that has no white paint in it whatsoever? It wouldn't generate jack against the screen at all, period. These screens have a little bit of a fighting chance because they have a little bit of white paint. Black paint's not going to show up on that screen. Let's go with, let me see. Oh, here's a person I like. Relaxing, beautiful butterflies.
Getting that from YouTube.
Oh, there's so much I want to show you. There's so much you should be seeing. You really should be. It's a shame that when they explain in their demonstrations, they're so short. They just tell you the basic protocol. That's basically about it. And someone get in the car, ignition, pedals, steering wheel, drive. Yeah, that's basically about it. Let's go over to, let me see. I want to do this one. What I want to do.
Going all day long.
I want to move this a little bit. Yeah, hold on a minute. I can't stand when they have the fire stick right next to which one. We gotta go back to that. There we go. Now, let's go in. Should we cover everything? See, even when the screen pauses, you see when I pause the screen? When I pause the screen, their colors come up even darker. Did you notice that? That's on a pause screen. Let's come out the pause screen for a minute. See how much cleaner the color comes up under the black on our technology? There you go. That's how it's supposed to look. See how beautiful the blue in her eyes is, the white levels, the skin tone. Look how pure and natural the green looks. Let's go pop over to real quick. I want to look at on here real quick. Oh, this is supposed to be beautiful, relaxing butterflies for the whole area. You need higher white levels. Let's go over to, let me see. Nobody be it. Beautiful, relaxing butterflies.
Getting that from YouTube.
Now let's bring this up here. I want to see the snow dogs. There we go. And before we start that, let's get these up. Now, keep in mind, any retaliation from this particular individual as I'm running his mouth about this and the other, I understand it. We don't care. You can talk about this. What are you going to do? Like I said, at the end of the day, you're going to take black paint and say this is my product? Please. We're doing a demonstration right now as we speak. You're going to slander black technology? Oh, you're trying to make one yourself, and it's not going too well for you. What else you got? Just do what we ask you to do, and that's it. Don't Q&A, don't vacation, don't do reviews about toys or Destiny video games. Just do what you're supposed to do. Show the difference between your product and their silver screen and other products, because I'm doing this right now with no problem. So that's what you need to do. Or just don't do any more YouTube videos on paint. Give it up. Because somewhere along the line, like I said, unless you do it or you're stealing from your customers. you can't back it up. And that's usually what he does. When he basically avoids challenges, when he avoids things like this, he has just little things that he do where he might not show up for a couple of days, like I said, or say he's on vacation. These are things he does to avoid it. If you go on vacation, it doesn't make a difference. When you come back, it's going to be like work piling up on your desk. It's still going to be here until it's done. That's how we're going to treat it. So every week, I'm going to ask you the same question over and over again. Where is your test? Because that's one of the tests you should be doing. Your customers need to know whether or not they're buying a real genuine screen paint at the end of the day, or if they're buying nothing more than a black and white product that they can just go down to their local Home Depot or Lowe's and pick it up themselves and make it. What's the difference? I'm gonna pick me up a gallon. We're gonna buy some chalk paint today. I'm buying chalk paint today. Let's see if we can make a black projection screen using chalk paint. We've done this already before, but we should do it again because I want to do it live and see what comes up. Unbelievable. Oh, should have noticed that. You wouldn't even have noticed there was a white dog over there. A white wolf? Right there. There's a white wolf right there. You can't see it because the screen is generating so much light, it is washing it out. There's a white wolf right there. Watch this. That's another thing about using white screens. That's a bad theory behind white screens too, on top of that, because people get white screens and they think that they jump their lumen count. This is going to make the screens produce better color and better contrast. No, you're just adding more white light literally to your screen. You're washing it out even faster. That's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. You're just adding to it. That's all you're doing. The more white light you throw at the screen, the more you're going to wash out your screen even faster. That's like saying that, look, if we take it outside and maybe we'll produce a better image. No, you're washing it out even faster. I just realized that there's a white wolf right there. When you bring up the whatchamacallit, it totally disappears. We're at 4,000 lumens. Oh man, didn't even see that at first. Gone. Let's see what else we got over here.
The Sleep Number 360 smart bed is on sale now.
What if I sleep back?
You're cold. No problem.
That's one dirty beach. Let's go clean it up. All right, people. Well, we're done. We just showed here that the gray screen paint products, no, they don't pick up well in ambient light. We had all lights on it here, screen washed out and faded, couldn't pick up color, couldn't pick up contrast. Pretty much they blend into just about everything we have over here, which is the mixes that we made ourselves with just a couple of tablespoons of black paint. That's really disturbing at the end of the day when you think about that one. The black paints that we threw against our screens don't match our screens in any way whatsoever at all. They don't pick up the same white light our screens do. Our screens are designed to generate more white light. You know, 4720p projector back there, and they still can't pick up. And at the end of the day, you need to know exactly, are you really getting what you are paying for? Are you getting a screen paint product? Or are you getting something that pretty much is you can just make at Home Depot or Lowe's? And at the end of the day, like I said, this individual doesn't have any real test demonstrations doing this. And if he does have some, which the ones I did see, basically show no difference between night and day. I mean, like I said, the bare silver screen, if you were to just drop in 2 tablespoons, even 3 into that, you would have matched that screen with no problem whatsoever. Doesn't show a big difference at all. If he decides he doesn't want to do the demonstrations and he wants to, I don't care about insults or memes or whatever you want to do, I don't care. At the end of the day, it just clearly shows that you can talk trash about me, you can call me this, racial slurs, whatever you want. At the end of the day, you can't back your product. And that's what you need to do. Back it 100%. Other than that, stop making screen paint. If I can back mine, you should be able to back yours. That's it. I'm done for the day. Well, not done for the day. I still got work to do. I gotta get my lanterns out there. I gotta get ready for the inflatable screen. Oh! Woo! We gotta do next. Yeah. Where's my remote control at? I noticed something. Every time we give him some kind of challenge to do or something he's supposed to do to prove his product, he slams us. Why are you slamming me? At the end of the day, I can show what my product can do. You slamming me is not going to help you any. You showing what your product should be doing would help you out a lot. You should be able to show the difference between your product and any of the mixes we made. It shouldn't be a problem at the end of the day. If you can say, if he takes that as a way of basically being attacked or anything, so basically we're attacking you on asking you to make a product that basically is showing that you're not fleecing or stealing from your customers. But you can ask me to do products on black paint to show that I'm not basically scamming my customers. We can do it with no problem. I don't know what the problem with you is. I don't even know. You don't know, so let's see. Let's see if you guys got a product or you got fleeced. That's what you gotta ask. If you get a product, or you just get fleeced. And if he ignores it, then we're just gonna come back and ask him again. That's all. Starfield screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
Certified turbocharger, suspension, and fuel injection.
As a matter of fact, I want to see the whatchamacallit real quick. I don't want to just Starfield. That's too easy. We've done that too many times. I want to check out. Is that right there? We're just showing our technology into white screens. I'm doing this at the end. Because I'll get customers out there too. From time to time, I'll get a few people out there that are bent on white screens. They'll say, no, white screen looks absolutely amazing. Like, the images look incredible. No, they don't. Meter just maxed out. You know why the meter maxed out? I'll tell you why. Because sun's coming up. There's light filtering through the house. It's already at around 18 to 19 in here already with the lights we have in here. Once the sun comes up and lights come through here, it's much brighter in here now. Meters don't pick up after a while down here. So keep in mind, we're maxed out on the meter. And my screen is still producing an amazing image, a bright, beautiful image compared to a white screen. It shows you also too, for those of you who have white screens and you have these 4,000, 5,000 lumen projectors, and you think for a minute that because you up your lumens on your projector, you're going to be able to produce better in contrast and color. No, it's going to wash out even faster. It's trying to pick up. See? It's trying to pick up in here. See how it's coming at 9? It's trying to pick up. If you notice, look, no extra lights in the environment. I got a light over there. I don't even turn that one on over there. We just got this overhead light. That's it. When you do a meter test, you're not supposed to have any lights, extra lights in the environment. Only the lights that you're using. All right, we got to get out of here. My battery's dying. Hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. Thank you all for your time. I have to go, and God bless.